Order. It's 1:31. Let's see, roll call.
Did you say one?
It's 1:31 right now. Linda Gay,
Yeah.
Lori Benson, here, Kevin Costa,
Yeah.
Nora Vicky.
Could you correct the spelling of my name? Everything that's
Yes,
come out,
I'm
it's
sorry.
misspelled.
I know.
It's B-I-C-K-I, so
Linda?
I'm here. But on the agenda, it's
The
misspelled.
spelling of Nora's name, it's B-I-C-K-I.
Oh, yeah, I got that afterwards.
And Sarah, too.
This one, the one you
just
just,
I brought tonight is fixed.
this one says B-I-K-I.
I
It's-
know, but I put C, but I
Oh,
some
it's
new
okay,
agendas,
it's okay.
and I got it right.
And then it was B-I-C-I. No, that was on the last,
B-I-K-I.
that was on the last agenda.
It's
B-I-C-K-I, Vicky.
Did you say here?
Oh, you did?
I did, I
You
said
did?
here,
Okay, you said here, and then you can.
but my name's not on, correct on here, so I just wanted to correct it for the
Alan
agenda.
Slavin?
Here,
Okay.
again, a non-voting member, just so people
Yes,
know.
great. Okay, so the sole purpose of this meeting is to discuss our guidelines and our application process, because we're probably gonna end up covering more than what we've covered before as far as funding requests. We're gonna go beyond publicity and advertising. And I first wanna thank Nora for your suggestions and the forms that you put together in the packet. Did people get a chance to look at that? But for this meeting, in the interest of time, I really just want to be here for 2 hours, and that's it, that's max. So what we're gonna start by doing is discussing on what we're gonna be funding now, going forward, and how we're going to publish those guidelines and explain them to people in a way that they'll understand. It's gonna be very new. We have a lot of people who've been used to what we've been doing for years, like ever since I've been on this committee. And the application form, I'd like to make sure that we can put together a new application form and process. And in the process of talking about that, we're gonna need to address, are we going fiscal or calendar year? And then if there's time, I'd like to talk about the process for submitting the receipts. That will probably be a little bit different than what we've been doing. Other than that, I don't think we're gonna finish today, but other than that, I don't wanna talk about anything else today unless we have time within that 2-hour time frame. So let's try to stay on topic. If somebody starts going off topic, I'm gonna rein them in because I really think it's important. It's a nice day. I don't wanna be here till 5 o'clock tonight. And we could easily be here that long if we talked about everything. So, I think we had Derek's email that had some suggestions for broadening our guidelines, our funding. And we kind of talked about that last time. I think the consensus was that he had sort of the germ of a good idea, putting a cap on what we're going to give, and then we just have to kind of figure out, we have to have some kind of guidelines about what we can fund, much broader than what we've been doing, but I don't think we can just put it out there and say we'll give people up to $5,000 for anything. So, anyone like to start the discussion? Alan?
Well, from a fiscal standpoint, I think it's a lot easier to set the dollar amount and also have some contribution from the organization as well. When this was originally written up, it was supposed to be a starter for like a year for different events, and then it was supposed to go off on their own. I don't think that's feasible these days. So I don't have a problem with saying a $5,000 cap. Actually, I don't think at this point, because we have so much money sitting because of COVID, we're gonna have to use it sooner or later. That, we just go and have the number and have, if it's $5,000, maybe you have the organization show they have $1,000. And the question is, in-kind services mean their own labor, can you count that or not? You're gonna have to discuss that as well. But basically, I would almost say at this point here, anything to do with the event at all should be covered. I don't,
Anything to do with what?
the event itself should be covered, period. I don't think you should restrict it at all,
That's interesting.
simply because you're gonna get into arguments, number one. Number two, how do you say this is good and that's not good?
Right.
An event is an event. Whatever costs to run the event should be covered as far as allowable to a certain dollar amount. And it just, again, I'm only talking from the financial end, from the FinCom. You know, it's the use of money correctly, it follows Mass General Law, et cetera. Because once you start restricting back and forth, you're starting to run into problems.
So you disagree with Derek, is that what you're saying? You disagree with the 5,000 cap?
I think it could be more than $5,000 cap, but they won't.
But if you only get 45,000 a year, and I know you have more, but if you only get 45,000 a
Then you cut it
year,
off.
then,
It's easy. Again, this goes back when I was on the select board and how we used to do it here. We had one year, I think we had $60,000 or $70,000 in requests. So from a financial standpoint, you take the total request and you take that number and then you put 45,000 and that's the percentage. Everybody gets rewarded that percentage. So it doesn't matter. We have $100,000 in requests and it's 45, you get, basically it's gonna be like half of it. That's allowable. Again, it's black and white.
If I may,
Go ahead.
at a $5,000 cap, seeing as the amount of money we have in there now, which is really beside the point. But we use that, I think what's gonna happen when we expand these availability of services to other than advertising, which I still don't know how that became, but that's beside the point.
Doesn't matter though.
It's gonna invite others to come in. I think more money will go out. In other words, people would say, I never went to the CDC because it was only advertising, but I have this thing that I'm gonna do, and I have this, this, and this. I'd like reimbursement on because it helps promote tourism and this, and so let's apply. So I think we'll get more applications
Yeah.
because we're opening it up to other
It's
avenues.
It's
so are
basically
you
what-
agreeing with the 5,000 or not agreeing with the 5,000 cap?
I do agree with
With
a
a cap, or cap,
Whether
okay.
it's 5,000,
Yeah,
6,000, 3,500, 10,000.
Yeah, yeah.
I think as a committee, we'll come to that agreement.
Bourne does
But
5,000
it's more the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in their
I think it's more the
package.
mechanics we wanna be talking about, and then the cap comes later, doesn't it? Or do we start at the cap and then,
Well, if one organization asks for 25,000 and we only have 45,000, but you don't have a cap, and I mean, you don't have to give them the whole
Well,
25,
you need
but
a cap.
a cap sort of reins it
I'm
in.
in favor of a cap,
So we need to figure the
whether it's
amount.
5,000.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't like Derek's graded caps, like 1,000 for a small event.
understand.
Who
How do you-
decides a small event?
Yeah, that's like really a question of like, what's a small event, what's a large event? That
Yeah,
gets
that's
really-
too much,
It's
don't you
great.
think?
Yeah,
You don't want
great.
gray.
And then,
Gray
and then
areas.
his comment about, you have to make sure that somebody raises the same amount. Don't trash Wareham, it does not raise money. So, and you have given them over the years, and you even gave them last fall. So,
You can put it down as in kind. We both
Well,
kill each other
so-
to work
But
with.
I
Yeah.
think what he
Used it, but
says
what-
though, but what he says, he doesn't really say that. He says that we should have a cap with a kind of a matching portion, but that doesn't mean they have to match it. Like if
No.
we are gonna say cover 50% of the costs up to 5,000. Okay, then if they can't raise the rest of it, then too bad. Like we just are
Right.
responsible, we'll say we'll cover
Right.
X amount with the 5,000 cap. We're not saying they have to come up with the other money, but somehow, if they need to do that to put the event on, you
yeah,
know,
and
they'll
most of
have
them
to.
do, don't you think?
Yeah.
Most of them do
otherwise-
raise
do
their
some
own money.
fundraising, you do,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever it takes.
Yeah, I don't think it's our job to wean them off. For years, we've been trying to do that. It's not
It's
worked.
not-
You know, we have the same people applying every year.
It's not
for
gonna
the
happen.
same money, it's just not gonna happen. So I think his idea of just capping it and then saying we'll match up to, like, 50% up to 5,000, I think that's really good.
And like I say, I think there should be no restrictions to what qualifies.
Well, one thing
No
now.
No
restrictions.
restriction to what qualifies.
But
Oh,
one,
what-
one interesting thing that I read somewhere is that maybe we shouldn't limit it to just 501c3, because there's
Right.
nowhere in the bylaw it says we have to. We always have. But do we want to continue to do that?
Did you
or-
see my sample guideline, how do we get rid of, how we do that? Because I
Yeah.
think I got it from Bourne. While the grants are open to all of Wareham, priority is given to nonprofit organizations or town-sponsored. That
Right.
covers us, in case you want to give more to the
But
nonprofits.
see, the towns, we can't do that. We can't we can't fund a town event. Right,
Well-
Alan? Isn't that right? We can't give money to a town committee.
Well, then you
Town-sponsored.
don't, but it could be open. For instance, we didn't do the Oyster Festival this year. A business did the Oyster Festival this year.
Right, right,
But
And
she's
that's-
also, within her business, has like that little nonprofit thing.
right.
So, I mean, that's a different, I mean, it's a different kind of thing. So if we, I mean, all we have to say is we give priority, and that covers us for not restricting,
Yeah,
but giving priority. And Bourne uses that language.
yeah, the bylaw doesn't
So-
say we have to
No.
restrict, again, that goes way back to,
Yeah.
you know, Jimmy Potter and why they chose to just fund advertising, and they also just arbitrarily said 501c3, but we don't have to do that.
And we can't restrict it because it's not, that would be like restricting it to advertising. So if it's something that's not in there, we can't. I know it now.
Probably also, the only restriction maybe at that point you do that is that it has to be a Wareham-based organization.
That
business.
has to be in Wareham,
In Wareham, the event has to be in Wareham.
but you might
Yeah.
get people from outside
I
coming
think,
in.
I think that makes sense,
I mean, I run a couple car shows, I can come in here and ask for money,
yeah.
and the car shows up in Plymouth.
Mm.
Yeah,
So add to that, it's open to all, well, it says it's open to all of Wareham. It's only open to all of Wareham? You want to put the only in there?
Wareham businesses and organizations, because
Yeah,
you're gonna have
I-
a restaurant that's
I
gonna
agree
have an
with that.
event, and they could ask for money. I'm
So
just-
while grants are open,
Yeah.
okay.
but have we ever given money to businesses?
No, because you've already
I
done-
don't think
always-
they qualify, that's why.
You always said
Well, we didn't qualify
nonprofits.
because we were only doing 501c3, but if we
Yeah.
open it up now, you know, businesses might not need it. I know they're different than nonprofits, but,
Small businesses
Mhm.
starting out, when they grand openings and stuff,
yeah.
you better believe they need it.
Yeah, so then we would be able to.
Now, when you were talking about the money, in 2004, we gave out grants totaling $54,570.
Yep.
All that was turned in was $39,260.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're not, very few are coming right to the dollar.
No, never will.
Right,
When I applied for organizations, you know, you kind of put a little bit more because like for printing, I don't know exactly how much it's gonna cost until we
Right,
go get the
right.
posters printed up or whatever. So I know when I did it for the Friends, we always did a little bit more on some of those columns. So I'm sure that, it probably doesn't account for
Yeah,
20,000,
and I
but,
think the Vietnam parade, the Veterans Parade, you were short.
yeah.
And
We asked.
That's why I called and I said, up it, so. it doesn't-
Yeah, because, and we had asked for less than we needed, but we did raise money, so
Yeah.
we were able to pay for that. So basically, so I'm looking the guidelines, the sample that I created, that, I mean, we can change this whole thing, but why retype something if we like it, right? Page 11,
okay, let's see.
Because you're not gonna involve-
your packet that you got last week.
Did you get that? Did you pick up Nora's packet?
Yeah.
If you don't have them, make a copy.
So that's what I was looking for. And then the sample application is on page 6.
How about our stipulation that we can't fund anything that will make money for the organization? Like if they're gonna be selling T-shirts, what we've been doing is we can't help them print the T-shirts because they're gonna make money from them.
So my
what about
question
that?
is
Like, are we
that too
gonna continue
restrictive?
with that?
No, what we did in the past is we would pay for the artwork.
Yeah, so,
But not
Right,
the
but not
t-shirt.
making
Yeah,
the T-shirts.
yeah,
Right.
so you couldn't restrict it,
Not for the
because
merchandise.
that's where we got in trouble with restrictions, right?
Yep.
So-
always.
But
So
see,
wait,
but
what-
when you do the grant, right? So with the grant application sample one, they list all those things. You can say, well, we can only cover this, this, and this year.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So even if somebody put down some money-making thing, you just leave it out.
Right.
So that way, we follow the bylaw by not restricting stuff in the guidelines, because that's the issue. You can't restrict in the guidelines.
You know, the
But
other,
you can bump things out that you don't think, and that other groups need the money more.
Yeah, but that gets really gray, because they talk to each other. Why did the CEC give you money for this? They didn't give us money for that. We have to be really crisp on this, what we fund and what we don't. And what
And
I'm
you
hearing
can
is,
be.
we don't want to restrict it to anything.
We can't
So
restrict
if we're
it.
not going to, then we're not going to. We won't restrict it in the guidelines, and we won't restrict it when we review it.
So then, you just said you wanted to restrict it to non-profit making things.
Well,
How do
if
you
we
restrict it to
are-
that?
Anything that we restrict it to, we're putting it in the guidelines. We're not gonna just
But we
decide
can't put
at
them
the
in the
meeting.
guidelines.
There's nothing, Nora, that says we can't put, there's just like nothing that says we can't only fund advertising and publicity.
Okay.
There is nothing in the
Rich Bowen
bylaw
said
that
it was
says.
too restrictive.
I have not even heard a peep
Well,
out of Rich
well,
Bowen.
that was-
and
that was
until
in
he
Derek's
comes
email.
to
That was in
the
Derek's
meeting,
email.
Derek said that what we were doing was within the purview of our committee, that we could have, it was implicit, that, and Jim Potter said this too, that we could restrict it. And so we did. And now
I
we've
disagree.
restricted it too much, so we're opening it up, but it does not say we can't restrict it at all.
I would suggest a couple of things as we go along here. Number one is basically, instead of guidelines, I would put it down as procedure for application from a legal terminology, number one. Number two, policies, unfortunately, are not legally enforceable.
True.
So selectmen's policies that they have,
Yeah, right,
and it's not me saying it, it's town council.
right.
So I would change those, number one. Number three, I asked town council, and I also asked town accountant about grants. We are not really a grant organization. I have no idea what we're supposed to call ourselves, but we're not a grant organization.
What does that mean?
I don't have an
We're not
answer
a
for it.
grant, so these
And who told you
things
that,
we're
Ellen?
giving out.
Town
we're not-
accountant and town council.
So these things, the money we're giving out
We're
is
a
not
pa- we're a
considered
pass,
a
we're
grant?
a pass-through.
We're what?
That's what
Pass-through?
that's what it is.
Yeah, but it is a grant.
It's not a grant. We don't, it doesn't, by town accountant, it doesn't qualify as
Is
a
it an
grant.
award or what?
Yeah, it's like an award,
It's an
we're a pass-through. I'm on the Serpent Commission for years.
Yeah,
We have hundreds of thousands of dollars in pass-throughs, it's not grants.
yeah, the cultural council has grants, but we're very different than the cultural
But-
council.
But,
and
but they're
what
done
we
by Mass,
award- right,
Mass Council,
exactly.
they work under those rules.
Yes, they're very different, a totally different organization than we are.
Yeah, and
They
they're
work
funded differently as
differently,
well. I'm
funded,
just saying
yeah.
that we didn't make sure whatever wording we use, it complies and the town council signs off on it going forward. That
Right,
eliminates the
If he
problem.
doesn't, fine,
And-
what we
and
do
it-
is we think about what we wanna do,
Yep.
and if he won't sign off on it, then we change it. But
Yeah,
I think
because like I
it's
said,
worth,
we have to deal with the town accountant because that's the person who signs it in order to get it paid.
yeah, that's
If she
Judy,
says,
right?
yeah, if
That's
she
Judy.
says no, then it's no.
Yeah, Linda's run into that before.
Oh, yeah.
With her, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
say that, what did you say, did you call it a pass?
Pass through.
pass through.
The money
Oh,
comes to
pass-through,
us.
okay.
Yeah, we're taking the town's money and passing it through to,
It's not an enterprise fund per se. It rolls, and the reason the grant, it rolls over every year. If it was a grant, at the end of our year, it would go away. It would go back to the town coffers or whatever.
Oh, okay.
right.
So we're gonna call it an award instead of a grant, is that,
It can
we
be a
decided on
pass-through
that?
award, whatever name you
Pass-
want to
do
use.
people know what
I
pass-through
think
means?
in our letters, I don't think
We can
we've
have a
ever
little
said
dictionary.
grants.
Yeah.
I'm just using the
just
word that I
said
know
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
state
I don't
accepts.
think we've ever called them grants, did we?
Well,
I don't know. That-
yeah, because it says,
Well, that was mine, because it is, I mean, it works the same way. You
Yeah, it is.
apply and you get
Yeah, I
the
know.
money, yeah.
people think of it as a grant, but it really isn't.
Yeah, we've said financial assistance from the Community Events Committee.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
pass-through.
No, but then it
We
says to
can call
apply
it
for
an
a grant
award.
from the CEC, so we
Yeah.
have
But
called
that-
it a grant.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, we did it in both
Right.
ways. You can't.
Yeah, right.
So we'll just clean the
Well, I
language
agree.
up.
Oh, what we had on the website was terrible, really.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gotta get
It was just
wiped out.
unclear, it was just like, yeah, so that definitely, we need to change that.
To be reimbursement, it's the
I
great
haven't
reimbursement.
seen.
It's not, can't use the word grant,
No.
but at least award, because who knows what pass-through
Award,
means?
financial
I'm just using that
assistance,
word
kind
there.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it means, but I mean, if you were applying for a grant, would you know, I'm gonna apply for a pass-through?
No.
You know, or money, let's not use the word grant.
I think the pass-through is just for the organization itself as a committee.
But we need something here.
That's all.
One thing that you said, Nora, is something we might want to consider if an organization needs partial funding in advance. I don't think we should go there.
I don't think,
We've never done that before. I
No,
think
it's only in
all
advance
reimbursement.
no, what it says is, we would prefer you to give us all of the bills at once, but if you need to have something reimbursed before that. So instead of having them trickle in, you would wait until, like, for the veterans, I waited till after the parade to give you all those. But we had bills
Right.
piling up. We didn't need the cash, so we don't have to put that on there, but we should be able to give,
We already do that.
We do
already
that.
you do,
I
so
did.
that, so you do.
I
So,
thought, I misunderstood.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
you were saying we could give them money without the receipts.
oh, no,
like
no,
they needed
oh, no,
upfront.
it does, no, it doesn't say that.
I
She
thought-
won't,
But,
she
yeah.
won't pay for that.
Right,
Yeah.
I thought that's
Oh,
what you
no,
were
no,
saying,
no.
sorry, I
So,
misunderstood what
yeah,
you were saying.
because, it looks like some people are
The
giving you like
seniors, the
one,
library,
Yeah, they do that a lot.
OPA, because
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
big one. The garden club has done it.
They all have,
Dog park has
yeah,
done it.
yeah,
Claire's Twinning has done it.
yeah.
yeah.
So instead of doing it after the event, which is easier for everybody, if we get all of the paperwork at once,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
easier. But if somebody's desperate for the cash, which I don't think they are, but you already do it.
yeah, we've been doing that. What do you think about the, let's see, sorry, I just had a question about this.
What part are we on right now? What are we
Well,
discussing?
we on
just kinda
page 11?
discussing the guidelines that Nora put
Got it.
together compared to like what we had for guidelines.
Oh, okay.
Because however we decide to change our funding, what we cover, we need to make sure the guidelines we post are clear and they're
Right.
explaining exactly what we cover.
So you're
I know what I
where
wanted to
you're
say.
where I am. Okay. I was
Yeah,
making sure.
so Nora
Yeah.
says it has to be submitted online. What do you think about that? Linda, you would know more than me about, are there people who aren't technical enough to submit an electronic application?
Sure there are.
I get electronic and I get them in mail too.
But this would be a sample that would go up
Plus,
like
who's
on the
paying for my
website.
ink?
For what?
When you get electronic, when I get an electronic.
You wanna have them apply at the select board office?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They
Well,
do,
we
that's-
we got the,
people
we
come
got
in for
the,
warrant
Isn't that
articles.
what we've done?
so the town is preferring that all applications go online.
To
Yeah.
the select board office?
But you
Yeah.
can't force it.
You can't force anybody, but the town is moving to all online applications
Yeah.
for all departments, so they've already done
Well,
that.
they're used to doing it, and especially sometimes some of the
Mm-hmm.
receipts are huge.
Mhm.
You get the library, you get OBA, you get,
Mhm.
the several
Yeah, but
other
Nora's
ones.
But the
talking about
receipts have,
application,
the receipts
not
have
the
to be
receipts.
in hand.
She's talking about the application
Oh,
itself.
The application, sis,
Okay.
If you- if you
Look,
go-
if they're applying, I get it online and I get a written one. in
right,
the
because
mail.
we send you an email. I mean, we do it by email. So you still would get,
There are a couple organizations that do not have any.
that walk
computer.
into, well, you could accept those, but
I do that now.
the town,
Yeah.
and if everybody fills out the same application, then we all have the same answers and we just go right down. And so,
We don't have an application form like that.
there is a
We need
sample
one.
application form
Right, I
in the
think we
packet,
do need
yeah.
one Because we didn't have one before.
The
And,
majority of the ones that come in on a letter form.
right, but see, this way, you can evaluate them all equally.
Equally.
For instance, explain how this event will provide benefit to Wareham citizens. You might say, well, that's not really an event for Wareham citizens, but if they just put the list, you might not really. This comes exactly from the Mass Cultural Council, which I used as as a sample. They're very simple, it doesn't take long to put it up, but the thing is that it's more equitable. It's just everybody answers the same questions. Who is the target audience? How many people attending the event? So when you're looking at them on the one day that you all
Yeah.
evaluate them, you say, oh, okay, well, this one's got 5,000 people, this one's got 30.
I
And you
don't
might
get
not,
that picky.
yeah, well, but if you don't have enough money, you see,
Sure,
now you do.
but-
But when you're in 45, you have to figure out which one it best serves the town, right? That's our charge.
And in the guidelines for the application, it needs to be clear, I believe. It is already, but we're not here to fund your whole
Right,
project.
Yeah.
We'll help you out.
right.
And are we already in agreement on opening this up to more than advertising?
Oh.
Come to a consent?
You have no
I
choice.
just
It's-
wanted to, I hate to revert back, but I just want to read what the original, back in 2008. The town may appropriate monies in the fund to sponsor and support community events, projects, activities, services, programs, and public improvements, which
Yes.
are of mutual interest to the visitors to and residents to the town. Pretty much covered it.
Yeah, the public improvement, we've
Pretty
done,
much
we've
covers
done
it.
2 times.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the all the lights on the village, and we also did the kiosks for parking,
We get an application.
which was way over
we
the
look
regular
at it,
dollar amount.
We evaluate it on an equitable basis, like
Right,
you were
right.
talking about, Nora, and then we make a decision as
The
to,
kiosks came through here, complaints to
Right,
is this beneficial
You sure?
to the town,
to
that's,
visitors
no
or
paperwork.
the residents of the town?
right,
Yeah, I
right.
know we voted for it.
And does it
Doesn't
fulfill
seem
those
that way.
requirements?
Well,
Then you don't have to fund
then
it.
we don't have to.
Yeah, I've been refused plenty of grants. That's the whole thing about grants. I mean, you can apply to many places for grants, and chances of getting them are not always high.
Back in the day, I had a mom and dad. I was rejected many times.
Well, weren't we all
So,
by mom and
Linda,
dad?
if you look at what we tell them to include in their proposal on our old guidelines, then you look at Nora's application form, it's really all the same information. And I think a form like this would even help the applicant, you know, it would be easier, go down, fill this form out, instead of having to create it as a letter. It's the same information.
Right.
But the only thing that I think you're asking about is explain how this event provides, will benefit Wareham's citizens tourists. You don't think
Page
it's necessary
6.
to do that?
I think it
Is
might,
that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
Just questioning that?
I think it
I'm not
might,
sure what I think about that either.
I
I don't
think
wanna
it might
get
help
picky.
because you might have a small organization. When we do TIP, the Transportation Improvement Program for the state, you know, for roads and
That's what
stuff.
TIP stands for. Okay. sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And when we do this, we have a rating all the way down for the project, you know, benefit, all these things. And there's a percentage, so that they get awarded in that, by that percentage as far as when they can get into the program. So we're gonna be doing the same thing here. Because if you have a organization which say is a small ethnic group, they're gonna sit there and say, you're picking on us because you didn't choose us or somebody else. So it really has to be by
So I
ratings.
think if we got to the point where we needed to not fund, or not,
Some.
you know, support some things because we didn't have money, this would help us decide really what to support maybe.
You have,
If we
It's
had
a
this
standard question
information.
on
I
grants.
have been out in the community, and you have too, trying to drum up business. What's it like?
It's not easy.
it's
No.
hard.
Yeah, we have tried, I noticed she said that we have
Numerous,
done
numerous.
outreach
Yeah.
numerous times, and we put the ad in the paper,
Yeah.
we have done
Yeah.
that. And we've called people
Yeah.
and said, we've got money, the schools, you know, we've tried to get everybody to apply, and who knows, you
No
know?
one's
We had
funded.
one
But
event
we're-
in the school, and it got so far, and
Yes,
then it dropped off. And
Yeah.
then Laura kept sending emails, calling. There's another very big event that happens every year. And it's a seasonal event. Phone calls, emails, you name it,
Mhm.
and it's completely ignored.
Mm-hmm.
I have no sympathy whatsoever, none whatsoever for that event.
yeah.
It's seasonal, you gave yourself away.
And the standing up and
Yeah.
beg, no.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
It's gone
understand.
on for years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we can try again, you can always try to get people to get involved. I know some people didn't even know about it, because they don't read the paper, or they don't,
They
they're
don't
not.
read, period.
Yeah,
If
you don't
I
read the
may-
paper, okay, younger
Well,
people
I'm
don't.
saying we,
Yeah,
Wareham Media, people know us.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we're
Try
not on
reaching out to
social
us.
media, we can't be.
right.
Okay.
We can't
So-
do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Social
Right.
media is the catalyst now
Mm-hmm.
It's-
for reaching
Unfortunately,
people,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not allowed to have a social media
Right.
presence,
Mm-hmm.
under the guise of community.
By the name,
All
right.
right.
Events committee.
Actually, the town
Yeah,
administration does not allow any town committee, board, or commission to have a
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
period.
And,
I mean, we're on the town
well,
website,
because they
so
like
that's all
control
we
of the
do.
content, and
Yeah.
it's understandable.
Yeah,
That you need to control content when it comes to
Yeah.
the town.
You also, when you get into that type of media, you leave yourself open for legal action.
If you allow notifications, if you allow responses on social media,
You get a
it
problem.
becomes a bloodbath.
Yep.
yeah.
Just post anything on.
Yeah,
Can I just add to those comments?
Do you want to come closer to speaking to the mic, please?
No,
if you give a permission.
I just, because, Linda, speak to that, is that because it was so restricted with advertisement, I'm involved with a lot of nonprofits. I think this will open it up. I've talked to a lot of people. I don't think you'll have a
It
problem.
will
I
have
think
more
it was
interest.
restricted in the little groups we are. We don't need the pamphlets and the bulletins. We just need
To
pay
know.
for $500
Just need
for
to know.
something. And we don't need advertising because these little groups use social media.
So you
So,
beat,
I think you didn't get anybody begging and whatnot is because it was so limited.
so you beat me to it.
Okay.
Negative, I was waiting for an opening to say exactly what you
All
did.
right.
Negative information gets out a lot faster than positive information. And once those tentacles reach out into the community, they only pay for advertising. Well, I'm not gonna bother.
It becomes the rule.
That's what happened.
And once it opens up, and it could take a year or two, for people to become accustomed to these new
But isn't-
guidelines.
Isn't that interesting, because Jimmy Potter said the whole reason they decided to do that was because they asked the committees what they had trouble paying for, and they said
They said
advertising, so now the whole,
advertising.
it's gone full circle.
'Cause
Now, they
advertising
don't
was so
need it anymore,
expensive.
because, and there wasn't any social media back then.
Yeah.
I
So
think some
it's
groups
just-
still
We'll
ran,
continue
like
to-
the Friends, I think they'll still do it because they really, they raise other money for other things,
Yeah,
but,
and Marie just
so some will
applied for
do,
Wareham Week advertising.
yes,
So-
some will
Yeah,
do
oh, yeah, this-
advertising.
yeah.
But, and the veterans, you know, we put ads in the paper, I mean, that was important.
We've had a lot,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
all these requests, all this
Mhm.
money we've spent has just been advertising
Yeah.
over all these years. So there are groups out there
Absolutely.
that have definitely used it,
Absolutely.
but.
But
yeah,
I think maybe even some of the smaller groups could use something like, you know, a smaller group on a one-time thing might need a little bit money for something else.
Yeah,
That's what we would encourage, right? Because we're encouraging.
I
You
think
may
so.
find some of these groups don't wanna go beyond themselves as a group, wanna stay with the advertising, and that's it.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
You would still grant it, right? I mean, you would still vote to grant that, yeah.
okay, but so here's the application, all right?
Can
And
I-
so
can I
all
just
this, and
expound
they,
on that? I know you don't wanna go over 2
I
hours,
don't know.
but
a short expound on,
thank you so much.
don't be
Um,
too loquacious, just like, keep it short.
You know what, in all that, I lost it, so.
Forget it, never mind.
That's a
Go
trick.
back and forth.
If you remember it, just, let us know.
Okay.
Well, I was just gonna say that this is, if we use something like this for the application form, then the tricky part is list each category of supplies, services, programs, and projects that you basically want money for. So is that as specific as we should be? We're not.
Don't we
gonna
do
be-
that already? Because I know in my applications, we put
No, because
advertising.
it's all advertising with publicity.
But we
This is
break it
different.
down.
This is
Yeah.
broader, so all I'm
Yeah.
wondering is this as specific as we need to be? Like, and they
Here's-
they'll list all these things, but we don't
Here's
have
a
any
sample.
specific things for them.
You could, they're broad categories. That's the one in the Mass Cultural Council. You have to fill the budget out. So there's one that says salaries and stipends, and then you could have one that says advertising, and you could have one that says performances or whatever, entertainment. Couldn't you do it by category that way, Larry?
Yeah, well,
That's what you're
I'm
looking
just
at, right? That's-
asking if we
yeah.
need to be more specific than supplies, services, programs, and projects.
I don't, did I hear salaries?
Well, this is, see, Mass Cultural Council.
But a
it's
stipend
apples and
is,
oranges,
a stipend
Nora.
is
We
an
are
entertainment, and we can do
nothing
entertainment now. That's a
like
salary.
Try to
I
get
know.
that out of your head.
I've got
because
it in
we're
my head.
Not like.
I've got it in my head, that's a sample to look at. You
Okay,
wanted
but those
categories, I'm
things
showing you
are Pretty much
categories.
the only thing that we could do here is, what is that, supplies?
So if you do entertainment, you would be paying for the entertainment, so that would be
Yeah.
a salary or a stipend. So if you don't like the word salary or stipend, just put entertainment.
Yeah, I wouldn't use
Right,
salaries
and
because
that's,
you might run
yeah,
into.
it would be more like.
Yeah, that's fine, you have to do
entertainment.
1066s. I just gave it to you as a sample, I didn't say you had to use those categories, but you
Yeah,
said
because they
categories.
don't-
$10.99.
Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of,
Yeah,
plus you have
'cause-
to comply with Mass General Law and that'd be a problem.
Yeah, because they're just
Um,
very different. I think we're getting too confused if we keep referring to Mass Cultural Council.
But you
because
asked for
we're very
categories. I know, but you
Okay,
said,
fine,
could we do
okay.
categories? We
Thank
can do
you.
categories,
I wanna
we
do
can.
Nora.
performance.
We can do
Okay,
categories.
But so we should be more specific on this then, and do categories, not just say supplies, services, programs, and projects.
Yeah,
I would say such
And
as.
that's where we need
Such
to
as.
hammer this out, because we
Yeah.
need, if we're gonna be specific, we really need to be specific,
yeah, when you get like entertainment, which opens up at least 3 or 4 organizations, technically they all qualify for that.
Like Cat and the Summer of Love bands, right? That's,
Well, you got coming up right now, your Cape Verdean Festival.
but again, we have the cap. If we have the cap,
That's what I'm saying.
then that's the only thing
The
that's gonna
cap will
save us.
protect you
is the-
because without the cap,
Right,
you'll be wiped out with 2 organizations virtually.
right. But so, Nora, is there anything in your guidelines that explains our cap, the way you've written them now?
No, because we weren't sure how you wanted to word that. But like I said, I think you should say
That's a place.
such as supplies, you know, you have to use those words, but I
Yeah.
think, and I don't think, you know, I wouldn't say restricted to, but for supplies, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where
Yeah.
you want to put
I don't
that.
think we have to have check boxes of the categories. People aren't dumb. They know what they're applying for. I'm applying for this, and they're gonna tell you
Right,
what it is.
if it's for advertising or if it's promotional, yeah.
You know, list each category of, example, performer fee, performer.
So, yeah, under the grant application, it does have that,
501c3
Right.
provided federal tax.
It's one
Because Julie's
conversation.
gonna need that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So under the, on the application, it does say, supplies, services, programs, and projects. Example, performer fee, promotional items, advertising, et cetera. That's the
Do you
bottom.
think that's specific? I was just wondering, is that specific enough then?
It says et cetera.
Yeah.
Well, and it
So,
said,
in the
et cetera.
guidelines though, because what I'm thinking of, if I was applying for this, before I filled out the application, I'd read the guidelines. So then I would know that like, oh, this committee's only gonna pay up to, you know, $5,000, 50% up to 5,000. I think that needs to be in the guidelines, don't you? I mean,
Yes.
so they know
Yeah.
kind of how much we're talking about here.
And I think the first sentence, I don't know, the purpose of the Wareham Grants event, didn't that come from your original one? Is to sponsor, encourage, and
that's
support,
pretty
that's your
much
original one.
verbatim, I think.
Yeah.
And then the wording is from the bylaw, services, programs, and I added
Yes.
advertising and projects of mutual interest.
Right,
So that's the first sentence of the guideline.
yeah.
And then it's on the budget section of the application form.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, in the guidelines,
Right,
Like-
that's the first sentence, do you want to change it from the first sentence?
oh, wait, hold on, let me.
It's the first sentence on,
Guidelines
yeah,
here. No, but
This is the
what I'm
one you
asking
came up
about
with.
is,
services,
like what
programs.
Derek says in his email, 50% up to 5,000. Like, I think we need to put that dollar amount.
So that's
in there
right here, see all
somewhere.
the question marks? Because we hadn't done that, see the one, the bullet that says maximum grant amounts are, question, question, question? Because we hadn't decided which one of Derek's suggestions you were gonna take.
Right.
Yeah, I think it should be included in here, because people are gonna read that before they fill out the app,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so
Needs to
then
be
they'll
in the
know.
guidelines.
I just
How
didn't
much
know
to
what number to
expect.
put, because when I was
Right.
doing this. So you wanna
He
put
didn't
that as,
say 5,000. He said 1,000, 25,
Yeah,
5,000.
but no, but,
He didn't give us a.
well, on his first page of the email, he did. He said 50% up to 5,000.
But if smaller groups, they can
Oh,
only raise
levels.
2,000, then all they'll get is reimbursed as 2,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have to have all different levels. I think
No, no,
if we
no.
just say 50% up to 5,000, I think that was a really good suggestion.
So you're saying maximum 5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, how is an organization gonna prove that they raised $2,500?
see, that's what I said here too, is that, I disagreed with Derek's suggestion that I would not want to give you my bank statement for my nonprofit, or,
Right.
you know, to ask a nonprofit to prove that, and then Don't Trash Wareham doesn't raise money.
Don't you, on a nonprofit, you have to submit to the state every year though?
You have to submit to the state, but you don't have to submit on the grant of 50% for this particular
But
event.
the information is public knowledge.
Yeah, that's for total amount.
You go digging for it. I mean,
It's available.
Yeah.
But it's not a line by line, you don't do line by
I don't think he's
line.
really saying that we have to ask for that. He's saying there should be a matching component, which is why we would only match 50% of the costs up to 5,000.
Which means it doesn't matter what they really raise.
Exactly,
Actually.
exactly, it doesn't matter.
So then why do we have to say 50% up to 5,000? Just cap it at 5,000?
Yeah, maybe we don't have to say.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
we
the
do.
confusing part to me.
I
That's
don't
what I
think we
thought,
do.
that's what I thought originally we were gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just plain
match
5,000.
up to- Just not
Yeah.
even match, just
Not match,
say
just
fund up to
Maximum
5,000.
grants
Fund
of-
up to 5,000.
Should it say per event?
Of available funds.
He says per event.
Yeah, and
in
see,
his
I had
email.
just put maximum grant amounts are, and I had question marks, should we put 5,000 per event?
I would think so.
Is that how you want to word it?
What about the group that has 9 events?
You have no choice.
Well,
Or
you don't have to subsidize all 5. See, that's the the beauty of giving money. So
Right.
you can say, we can only do 2 of yours this year because we have 50 grants that
But
we
you
want to
gotta-
supply.
You run into an issue where, say for the OBA, they run cards and advertising for all their events in one thing, one cost.
Mhm.
They're not broken out.
Yeah, but we had that as a category, advertising for multiple events.
I know.
So she could submit on the application form as one thing, advertising for multiple events. And then we could say that ceiling would be 5,000.
Each event, on the paperwork that we get,
I know.
it lists out
It's advertising.
her
Mhm.
advertising, but that specific event.
Mhm.
Then the other
But the bill we
amount-
get is for all
Then the other
combined.
event, the other amount that they ask for is the overall,
Yep.
the whole organization, and that's like statewide or more.
Yeah.
That's kind of a unique organization
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, the way that she handles that, you
It's
know.
the only one we have in the
All
town.
the advertisement and the Plymouth website and all these different things, and that's why she has to do it that way,
Yep, I know.
you know, kind of all at once.
And
So
that's
I
your
think we're
option
gonna run
to,
into
to
that.
okay it, because it's different, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you have the option within that, as long as you don't violate the
Well, I don't know
bylaw.
if you know, but they have a separate category,
Yeah,
the OBA does,
yeah,
for advertising.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's for,
yeah, for all of her
All major-
advertising, yeah, yeah.
So we would consider
media.
that like an event, and we could give her up to
Yeah.
5,000 for that,
Mhm.
I think, because, you know, she doesn't submit advertising for each little event, like she just does it
Mm.
as an
Right.
umbrella over all the
Mhm.
events.
Yeah, some events are small, some events are large.
Yeah, so maybe some of her
Yeah.
events wouldn't even come near 5,000.
She may
Do you know what I'm
just stay
saying?
with advertising.
Hmm?
She may just stay with advertising.
Yeah, she might.
Yeah,
Well,
That's
it depends.
up to the
Like saying, you know,
person.
Library may stay with
She
advertising
might
too.
try for the
yeah,
bands.
I think the
maybe.
library would, because
Well,
that's
she
what
should.
helps them the most.
Especially if the town starts charging her for services.
Yeah.
She's getting so large, and if they start charging her for like fire and police, you know, she's gonna have to go for.
Well, like for the Harvest Moon Festival, the car show, we have quite a few police on the streets and everything else. The
Do
only
you
thing-
pay for those, for the police
I don't know
detail?
what she does there. I
Oh,
know
yeah, she pays for
She
that
pays for
day.
it,
That's
she gotta have to,
She
pay
is.
any police you pay for.
Yeah.
she
oh,
pays.
But I mean, we're able, as a separate part of that whole event, we raise money on our own to give
Right.
to the OBA for
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So, like I say, she's got
She
$7,500 ready from us.
And like at
that
the
we raise.
concert, she has the vendors, she
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
50/50 raffle, so she raises money
She raises a lot.
during that
Well,
event
I
too.
mean,
She
she has
doesn't
a
charge
hun-
admission, but she does.
Well,
raise
she has
money.
100 vendors sitting up in the hill.
Yeah, that thing is like a, yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge now.
You can't roll down the hill on your own anymore.
So is it okay to just say per event, and then when you're doing hers, you would say, this covers all her events, something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, you
leave
would
it
do that.
way, and if we have a problem, go back and review
Yeah,
and change.
yeah, if it's not
Nothing's
working out
fixed in
for some
stone.
reason,
Yeah.
it's worth a
Could you
try, I
say,
think.
or annual category per event, or annual category? I mean, just
Event.
Annual category?
meaning like advertising.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the only groups that do a lot of things, you know what I mean?
Right.
They would, they're
Yeah.
really one of the only ones that fit that
Fit,
category.
yeah.
Right.
Because, you know, the parade, the Veterans Parade is one event, you know? So
And
let's just put per event so that
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's
someone
the
could,
grant
maybe if
amount.
someone has 2 events, they could apply for 2 events or
put
wanted
a-
to do another
Put
event?
an asterisk there saying,
Yeah.
you know,
Per event, okay. So,
What else you got?
so,
Hey, let's face it, nobody attracts visitors or activity in this town like the OBA. Nobody.
That's because
Well,
it's
that's just
the way it
onset,
is.
onset.
I'm gonna show this to you, but I
Where?
have to have it back.
I know it's onset, but it's where.
It shows you how she applies
But
for
everybody
application.
loves onset.
Everybody loves Wareham.
Nope.
Wow.
Onset is a favorite
Wow.
child, and every,
So
when I
I'm
wear
seeing
him.
it in broad daylight here.
Onset is just one of the 7
Hi, Sarah.
villages in
Oh,
Wareham,
is this empty?
period.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's your seat, we saved it for you. We even had a couple handouts there for a minute. when we were going. There they are, they're back. Yeah, but no, I'm like half kidding. Onset has its issues, believe me. I know, I've lived there a long time. It has its issues.
I love it.
No, there's no issues with
Yeah,
Onset.
no, what, no?
Sorry.
So,
Thank
okay, so this is pretty good, Sarah. We're getting like down there with we're starting with like the application and revising the guidelines, thinking about what we're gonna fund now, you know, not just advertising and publicity. And so there's a few other things we still need to talk about around that. If we need to think about how we always put that ad in the newspaper in April, and like you said in your document, the timing really makes no sense. Like, it's April, and so I think we need to figure out, are we going fiscal year or calendar year? Because that makes a big difference, the way we advertise for the applications.
I vote fiscal.
Fiscal.
Yeah, that makes the
I
most
think
sense.
because of the town,
The events go
Should-
from January to December.
the
Yeah,
events
the
do,
problem-
yeah.
The problem is,
Fiscal doesn't work.
But now the events go from July to June.
Right, you can
That's still
start the
1 year.
year
Yeah.
It's still 1 year.
anywhere.
It's just moving them, you know, it's just moving them. It's still 1 year. It's still 12 months.
But
But it-
you're granting everything in February, March, or April.
Why?
No,
Your events
now we
start-
would do it in June. Because now you're gonna start it in July, so
Your
now,
events that start in May.
then those are covered. Those are covered.
Those
Lori, do you remember when I
covered
sent you the email about Don't Trash Wareham? So we were doing a fall event, and we planned to do an April event, and I said to you, do I need to apply for both fall and April, because that's in the same fiscal year?
Right.
And you said, no, that would be in a new year.
Calendar year.
But if you were
Right.
doing fiscal year, I would have to apply for everything that would be from July 1st to June 30th. So you're just applying in the fiscal year. And then you have, we're working on the town's,
So I heard some scuttlebutt about a treasurer.
No, we're not going there.
Yeah, we're not there
Not
yet.
We're
really.
not
This is
going-
part of this discussion.
No, we're not
Okay.
going, no, it isn't.
Well,
I'm
what,
not talking about the treasurer.
No one's gonna be a
Part
treasurer.
of this discussion, the nature of the fiscal year.
Right.
Easier for a
treasurer.
treasurer going forward to work in a fiscal year. That was my only point.
Treasurer of
and you
what?
get
Why do you
45,
keep stopping me?
you get 45,000 in the fiscal year.
I didn't say we
not
had.
necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Well,
Easier for what treasurer?
It's supposed, that's what the law says.
Oh,
It doesn't matter what the law
Well,
says.
it does matter what the law says.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You go downstairs and talk to the treasurer's office.
I'm sorry, we have to follow the law.
It doesn't have to, just so you know, Nora.
Well,
You say we're not.
we're
going
supposed
there,
to
but
get
we're
it in a
committed.
fiscal
We're
year.
not going there now. Okay, if we have time.
You don't
later.
get it until the book's closed,
We're
the
not,
book's
you're
never
jumping
closed.
ahead, Kevin, we're not going there.
You said you get dribs and drabs, right?
But you don't get all the money.
Fiscal
until the
year,
book's closed.
as opposed to.
Still one coming.
But you said that goes to this fiscal year that just ended.
Don't worry about that.
That's what you told me, it goes to the fiscal year that just
Discussion has to
ended.
do with Fiscal year.
But the
That
money
we're
comes into the treasurer's office.
just in general,
The treasurer's office has to
it
do
would
the
seem like you
paperwork,
guys would have,
and
we would have a
they're
better
very
handle
lax getting
on
it
what
done.
money we have if we went with the
So
fiscal
that's why
year.
it's still outstanding.
No.
Yeah,
I think the only problem is I can see from an event organizer's point of view, like trying to plan for that next year, like January, say this starts next year, okay? So our first fiscal year that we're awarding for would be June 1st, 2026, right, or July 1st.
July.
July 1st.
So now, the person who's applying has to plan for an event that they're not having until January next year, 2027. And I'm not sure how these committees work around here. It seems to me that it's hard for them to think that far ahead. Like,
But you have to
A
think
lot
of
I
a
year.
think
lot of
they
them are
have to-
already starting, I'll tell you right now, November and December. They're planning their budgets for that year.
So,
but they already, it's always been a retroactive grant, right?
No,
Well, I thought it was.
no.
retroactive? What do you
Right,
mean
the-
you
retroactive?
get paid.
Yeah, you
They have
pay
the
for the
event and then
event,
they put it in.
they pay for the event, then they get money from you guys.
It's not
Right,
right.
After the fact.
reimbursement.
Okay,
So-
thank you, that's a good.
I think the sample
reimbursement.
letter to current grantees, which you can't call them grantees anymore, it's not a grant, we can't call it a grant.
Awardees.
Awardees.
Awardees, there you
They're the
go.
awardees. This explains that the first year will be difficult because you'll have to plan your thing, but then after that, it's on the fiscal year. I think fiscal year, I think it's just common sense to have
I
fiscal
would
year.
suggest that we, again, go to the town accountant to see how she wants to handle it. Because at the end of the day, with the way this is set up, the town accountant has to sign and approve any payment. So no matter what we decide, doesn't matter, it's what she says.
We used to do fiscal year. When I first got in the committee,
Yes.
we were doing fiscal, and I don't know when that changed.
Never when I was here.
Why did it
Are
change?
you sure? I thought, because I found it confusing doing fiscal.
Yeah.
But then we went to calendar, I was like, oh, good, it's easier. But I don't know
The only
when
issue,
that
the only
happened
issue
or
with
why.
calendar year is because the money's come in technically July 1st to June 30th. And then
Right.
the next slug of money comes from July 1st to June 30th. If you look at the way back in, I guess, the 2014 pieces, if you look very carefully, it says a no event shall be amount in the aggregate. Basically, to community assessors from, for any fiscal year exceed, that was 60,000, and it got changed to 45. So in aggregate, it's telling you, so when you look at the thing that says a percentage here, a percentage, it doesn't matter what the percentages are. The aggregate cannot exceed 45,000. Because that was the last meeting we had, people
And
didn't
why are we
understand
talking
that.
about this right now? Just a quick question, I'm sorry. What does this have to do with the fiscal or not fiscal year?
It has to do with money's coming in, because you have money coming into a certain time frame and another time frame. The problem is that all the money does not come in to this committee by June 30th.
So the special act, which was passed by the legislature, and I know you say they don't follow it, we have to follow it. It says that it's
Not
for the
us that are
fiscal
following it.
year.
The lady down the street here
No,
has to follow it.
it's the treasurer's office downstairs. The
Oh,
money comes
okay.
in.
So the
Understand,
treasurer
money doesn't-
has to follow
Money
it.
does not come
So-
into the town.
So this is the bylaw and do you have the acts?
Yeah.
You want a copy of it, or do you have that?
I have all of them.
Yeah, okay, so the special acts, says it was by fiscal year,
Yeah.
and,
Finance.
and so that's how the state legislature passed it.
Where is it? Where is it?
This is the fiscal year.
In section 1?
So, yeah.
Oh, no,
so
section 2.
So
This was, yeah, and this was
Okay.
changed just to
Our
change the
money,
numbers.
How much we get and everything. But it seems to me that it would be easier if we went on the fiscal year to conform with when we get our money.
Right, that's what it seems to
Well,
But
me.
you
all
don't
I'm trying to
really
get at is
have
that
to though,
we-
right? You don't have to, but it seems like it would be
We
easier.
have zero control as
Right,
far as the money
over the
comes.
money,
We have
right.
zero.
Right,
Okay, the control comes, just so everybody understands, the monies come in from the state to the treasurer's office. The treasurer's office, when they feel like it, I hate to use that word, get to it and eventually will take that money and put it into this account for us.
right.
They are not under the gun that has to be in a certain time frame because we have no control.
But
And
that circumstance still exists even if it were calendar year, correct?
It's correct.
Then we can
No, I can't
say fiscal year and it will still be the
We're
same,
not-
but we'll be conforming with the
Yeah,
acts.
but we're not arguing with that point. I'm just trying to explain that, it doesn't matter. The bottom line for this strictly is that this committee has no control when the money comes in.
Okay, we get that.
We know that in the actual fiscal year, when they close the books, which they haven't done yet, and probably won't do for another 2 or 3 months the way it's going, then at that point there, the 45,000 total has to be put into the account.
Right, right.
That's all. I mean, it's really, unfortunately, it doesn't match what the actual act passed, because the act
Right.
had no control over how the money eventually got to the town, into this committee. It's not in the bylaw, it's not in the warrant article, nothing.
So, do you think that Linda should ask Judy what she prefers for community events?
I think it makes life a lot
If we could do
easier.
the calendar or
Well,
the
Judy
fiscal?
doesn't have any more control over it than we do, it seems like. If it's all about the state giving us the money,
No, it's not when we get the money, that's clear. But how that process, if it matters, like if we do a calendar year or fiscal. It's just, the money's gonna be there when it's there.
Yeah.
She does
And-
the fiscal year. Sorry, because like I say, this is not an
Yeah, I
account
think that she
that,
would.
it's not an account that just at the end of the fiscal year, if there's any money left, it goes back to the town. It rolls over and continues. That's why it's really not a grant program, et cetera.
Right,
Okay?
right.
So it doesn't matter. As far as Judy goes, she processes through. Whenever the treasurer's office takes the money that they have in their office, it comes in, they make a debit form or whatever, and it goes into the account here, which she processes. If you were to go ask her now, she'll say, I keep after them, but I have to wait until they finally get to it.
What
Can
about,
I ask-
because
there's
there's
me a-
extra money? I mean, there's over 45,000 left from COVID times and whatever. Then it becomes irrelevant when you get this year's money if you have access to that money. You could go ahead and make the grants and
Yeah, we can
And
still
have money
you
to
still
give
pay.
people when they
But see,
ask
that
for
may change,
reimbursement.
if we open up these guidelines, like, it may change, and that's why I think it would help us to be fiscal.
Yes,
Because
I agree.
then we're gonna know how much money we have, how much is coming in.
I think most of us agree.
If we're trying to do the calendar year, we might lose
You
track
gave
of
me
that,
this.
you know, when we're trying to decide on how much
It's the,
to
it's the
award.
fiscal year.
It has to be because it comes from the accounting office.
Yeah, so,
Right, that's what
so
you get.
that's what you
I don't
get.
think it really matters for us whether it's fiscal or yearly.
Yeah.
It kind of
It
does,
really
because it
does.
determines our schedule.
What's
For
schedule?
the schedule for meeting and granting,
No.
awarding,
No.
awarding money.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah,
No.
because if you start the grant on July 1st, you would have grant applications due, say, June 1st. And then you,
June is too late.
mid-May, if you think. I mean, usually it's,
April is better. Events start.
but you
in
have
May.
people who do it in January and February, and you start giving grants then. So that it would have to be
Yeah,
like a,
grants don't, and these here, no, that doesn't matter.
yeah.
I just leave it as fiscal year, and if you want to put dates for
And-
applications, it's fine.
Yeah, well, you can choose whatever year you want, but as far as the flow of the organization, doesn't matter.
They work on, the
They'll get
organizations
used to
work on a
it. They'll
calendar
get used to
year.
it. Because when you
So if-
apply for a grant, it has a
so-
date on it. You have to go by the date.
If I may, if we put in a thing, you must have your application in by, let's just, it used to be like May something. And then we start saying April, you guys start saying April, I'm almost done.
Take your time.
So what does it matter when they apply
Right.
and when they're reimbursed?
Why is there an
It doesn't.
Why is there an application date
They're
required?
applying in June or July, or they're applying in April or May, or they're applying in December or January.
I agree.
What does it matter?
It doesn't.
Because if you run out of money and somebody applies in January and you start giving away the money in January, February, March, then the rest of the year, if the money's already given, no,
Okay.
keep 45,000 in your head, because
Yeah.
someday there's only gonna be 45,000 in that
That's
account.
correct. You're right.
That's how, it started.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, so what if you let people apply at any
Yes.
time, and so some people apply in January, you had an April 18th deadline, but the March minutes you already had given quite a few awards, and that was before the deadline.
No, we didn't give
So,
them awards.
it's
All
in the-
we did was
vote
discuss
on
them and vote them. Nobody knew what they were
Right,
getting.
but you voted on them, okay. Your guidelines said at the April, and the press release, at the April, after, deadline is April 18th, and after the deadline, all applications will be reviewed. But you had already reviewed applications and given them on the minutes in March, which is before the deadline. So, to be fair, you have a deadline, and everybody puts their applications in, and then you look at them all, like you say in the press release. That's what you said in the press
Right.
release.
We can change that.
Okay.
The reason for the deadline was to stop the stragglers. That's the only reason for the deadline.
And you should, every
Right, there should be a
every
deadline.
grant or award
Yeah,
has a
That's a
deadline.
good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you still want it in April, you could, but if it starts in July, you could even do it in May. You don't have to meet in April,
Right.
You don't have to meet in January or March. So you meet then, you have all the applications, you decide who gets the grants. But, and here was Derek's suggestion after he read my packet, something along your lines. If there's still funds, you should be able to accept them mid-year.
That's what we do now.
Yes, exactly. So, and that's what I said. But it's not written someplace, so I added that sentence in on the application. I got so many papers
A
here.
lot of it, because of COVID, I know it's been discussed, that in the beginning, they applied once and they applied once a year. And that was it. Occasionally, there was other grants, other applications that came in. Because of COVID, and the volume of money was there, it was like, get out there and tell the people to apply again. So as a result, you have these organizations, we have more money. Come on in here and apply. We have to
It
move
was
the
just
money.
rolling applications, kind of.
Yes, it was almost a
And that was
rolling
because
thing.
of COVID,
And
that's how we
that's-
changed
Yeah.
it. because of
And
that.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
There's still a volume of money. And we're still taking applications. I got some who's gonna show up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And if
That's
we
good.
get back
Yeah.
to we can get back to saying, you're getting one application a year and that's it.
But I haven't heard anybody say that. Is that
Say what?
something that was talked about before I was here?
No, but she said that she
No.
doesn't, to have a deadline or not have a deadline. So
Oh,
it used to be
oh.
rolling during COVID. So, but here's the thing. They asked me last fall, the town asked me last fall to start Don't Trash Wareham and do a cleanup. And I contacted you guys and I said, I know the deadline's over. It was end of the summer. I said, could we apply?
Sure.
And of course, you had money. If they had run out of the 45,000, they'd have to say, well, we don't have any money this year. But, so
It
you
would
can
have-
apply during
It
the,
would have been the next fiscal year, though.
Pardon?
The application would have been in the next fiscal year, so what matter?
no, it would have been in July.
No.
It would have been still in the same fiscal year, because it starts at July 1st.
Fall.
So
For the fall is the next fiscal year.
it's the one you're giving the grants for that year.
Oh.
Because this year you're giving
July
grants for
1st through
26.
June 1st, 2026.
No, we're giving grants right now that we get in basically really for the fiscal year, fiscal 25.
That's right.
That was last year's.
No, that's this year.
Not
It
according
goes-
to the town reports.
It goes, your fiscal year starts on July 1st, 2024, and ends June 30th, 2025.
Right,
That's what we're in.
right.
July 1st is fiscal year 2026.
Right, that's what we're in now. But I had applied
Right.
within your fiscal year.
Last year.
Yeah, I applied in fall. So
Yeah.
that was still in that, in
Because we had
that,
the
But I'm
money, that
just
had
saying-
nothing to do with whether it was a
Yeah,
fiscal
I'm
year
just
or not.
saying,
Yeah, right.
if someone applied in the fall, this year is 2026. That's all I'm getting at.
Yes,
yeah, all of your grants right now are 2026.
but I think
No,
that's.
they've been awarded, they've been approved before that. They
Yes,
don't-
but
they
if you
don't
change to fiscal year, it would be fiscal year 26.
When they get paid.
Yeah,
But
but
you-
not when the event takes place.
But you approve them in fiscal year 2025 to accept them.
To start on July 1st of the next fiscal year. You review them, you review
These
the,
events are starting in May.
Yeah, we don't do it that way.
yeah, so it goes around, if that's you do the fiscal year, that's all you do, is you go around. So you plan for, and that's why I asked you, should I apply for the April event, because it was in the same fiscal year. And I said, shouldn't I apply for both right now?
Have you applied for the Veterans Parade?
Yes.
Yeah, they've got theirs.
Mhm.
I mean, they could apply for the Veterans Parade on July 1st if they wanted to,
Yeah,
or
they
later.
already got the money. for this
Right, but the application was April 18th, so they got the application in
I
on
know,
time.
but I'm just saying that's the issue you have.
And it's really for the new year, it's for the April 20, it's for the
No,
July
we
20.
haven't started anything until next year.
Mhm. Yeah, all these guidelines and applications for the next round, because you've already done this year's
Yeah,
round.
already done it.
Yeah, then
You've already given grants for this year.
that's
But
the
I think
problem.
We could
We're
take
gonna-
more.
That's the problem.
Well, yeah,
is
you could do, because you have more money,
You're
but,
giving grants for 2 years overlapping.
I'm sorry?
We're currently doing that.
That's what
How
we're doing
does it
right now.
overlap?
We're giving grants.
If we clean it up,
We haven't
won't.
paid for them, but we basically accepted grant requests over a 2-year period,
Yeah,
technically.
well, because we were I thought we were doing calendar year, that's
I
why.
understand, that's why,
That's why we were doing it,
because the events
That's
are based on a
Yeah.
calendar year.
yeah.
Lori, seems like everybody agrees fiscal.
Yeah, but
We
I'm
all
just
agree.
thinking about how, I think we need to maybe explain that, because we haven't been doing that, and applications are being accepted for events from like July 1st, 2026 until June 30th, 2027. I think we need to explain that, because otherwise people are gonna
Right.
be,
Right, and there's an
That's the
example.
letter, the example,
There's
the
an
letter
example
for
in the packet.
current grantees, and of course
that's
now.
important.
Yeah.
We're gonna
What
change.
page is that on? Yeah, so that would
I
be,
don't understand that, and I do the annual report, and I'm always confused about what
Yeah.
awards am I reporting? And I've been reporting in my annual report pretty much calendar year awards.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. When they
Sample
print it,
press
everything.
no, the one that says sample, yeah, the one that says sample to current grantees.
I'm working on it.
It says sample,
Website, post.
sample
Is it
letter,
A? I mean, is it that one?
no, sample letter for current grantees.
Okay.
I have it here.
How would that work?
Current grantees? No, it's a long letter.
It depends, like when we advertise in the paper, when we have a
Here.
deadline for the
Yes, what
grant-
page? Page
10.
10,
a
thank you.
deadline for the application, if we advertise in the paper.
There it is.
And
Yeah.
what would it be?
So that
If
explains
you go
it.
fiscal year.
You only need to change president, chairperson,
Yeah.
or secretary.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
There's
I think
president
I'm
on
using
here?
the money,
No, it's not on my page
awarding
10.
the
Money's
money to
never
those, we're technically using the money to award to those people who apply by, say, June 1st or whatever. We're using money from the next fiscal year.
I don't think the money's gonna,
No, because
Gonna
it
make a
does,
difference with the money.
it's not,
Oh, I
the
see.
problem you have is you're getting vouchers in and you're paying, for money that may be for the prior year's funding, because you're actually paying, the money comes after, so basically we're using prior year's money to pay for the current year, constantly going forward. It's the way it's been all along.
Right.
Because when you had your fiscal year of June 30th, you don't have all your money.
Right, I think everybody understands that,
So
don't
the
you?
bottom line is you're actually
Right.
using, we've been using prior year money always
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the
Right,
next.
it rolls over.
roll-
Mhm.
because
that-
everything rolls over.
Because it rolls over.
Yeah,
So I think
Yep.
that doesn't matter at all at this point. I think the question is, can someone come in and say May and put an application in for an event that's gonna be in June? My answer is, why not?
right, I
That
don't
would
think
be
anybody
on,
would
that would be
dispute
on the
that.
previous year's funding. That would still be in the previous year's application period. Like mine was in
It would actually-
October,
It would be in the current year's fiscal application.
but the current year starts July 1st.
I'm just saying, if they
Yeah.
have applied in May for an event in June,
If they weren't, you might get somebody who has, oh, I have a new event. But people who do their events all the time, they just count the first year, and that's what the letter to current guarantees says.
Yeah, page 10.
That if you have something before the deadline already, then that would be covered because we're changing, and so that's what this letter
We're
says.
informing you after the
We're-
fact,
Yes,
so.
so now, when you apply from now on, make sure that you apply for any events happening from July 1st of this year to June 30th of next year.
With our current, like, say, April 18th deadline, have we ever had anyone apply for an event that they already did, like in February? Like a chili contest or something? Have we ever had that where they're
Well, the-
not really applying, they've got the receipts already, they just want to get
Yeah.
reimbursed for a previous event? Because that's
No.
when we were doing calendar year.
Yeah, because
Then-
like the chili event's not part, she doesn't
Well,
apply.
but say,
Yeah.
have you ever had an application like that where I can't think of any, where
No.
everything's.
Well, wait.
Most of the events
No,
don't
no, no,
happen.
we just have an example.
Wait a minute,
The
wait,
twinning
wait,
committee.
Wait, like, they start in May, a majority of the applicants,
Right.
they start their events in May, and they
Yeah.
go to December. Now, December rolls around, and then I don't get invoices till maybe February for December.
Mhm,
You
right.
still get them
We'll
in
have
December
Christmas
because
in December and.
they're trying to gather everything together and plus, live their holiday.
But that's, if we were doing the fiscal year, that would be okay then too,
Yeah.
that's right,
Amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
And we just had the
yeah.
twinning committee came before us with a request for something they already did. They already bought those challenge coins.
that's a
Yeah,
problem.
once in a while we get a request like that, just pretty much for the reimbursement.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want to get into the challenge coins right now.
No,
And you would-
no,
I'm not
but that's
discussing
okay,
that.
we're
I'm just saying
that's what they did.
example.
Yeah, I've already talked to her, it's all taken care of.
Fine.
So Lori, you said the annual reports, right? So I just copied every annual report because I was interested to see how much, we were giving. But the numbers don't match with,
They never
They
will.
match on
Yeah.
that sheet,
so,
right, because we just.
yeah, so, I mean, you
we don't-
couldn't figure out how much, you can figure out how much you spent in this year, but
You're
you
never gonna
can't
know.
figure out.
You're never gonna know to the penny.
No,
I've already
because,
been told that.
right,
I'm
right.
never gonna know
Right.
to the penny.
Right,
But some years
Even
they're
from
off by
month to month.
20,000, some, I mean, they're off by a lot of numbers. So this way, they would be the same. Your annual report would actually be the same as
it'd be easier to do, I
as-
think, yeah.
so
'cause I
when you
just
need
look
to
at
get
that now
this.
And I total it up, and that's like, that's what I put in there.
So,
I don't
so have we
even look at
decided
that
that we're gonna be
understand.
on a fiscal year calendar?
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Have we made a decision on whether we're gonna be on
Yeah,
a fiscal year calendar?
I think we're going to do fiscal year, right?
Yeah, start with the fiscal year.
Yeah.
But you're going to be getting applications, I would say, in April,
Mhm.
February or April, you're gonna start accepting them. You can't be doing
You
this.
can accept them, but the deadline is when you look at them.
Right, well, we set the
You can
deadline, but I
yeah.
mean, you're gonna start accepting, you've got to keep these organizations rolling.
Yeah, Yep.
You can accept them, but you won't decide until the deadline, like you said, in,
We did that much because they were here, and we never had
I
a
know, but,
problem before.
No.
well, it's not a problem, except that you promised people that they had until April 18th to apply.
It was
And
to
if you
get-
ran out of money,
was
it wouldn't be
to
fair.
get them in
Yeah.
here, strictly
Yeah.
to get them.
So you
Well,
started.
because of our current guidelines, we knew we weren't gonna run out of money, so we
Yeah.
felt like it was safe.
Right,
You
except,
know, an early app wasn't gonna take it away from somebody else because we had so much money.
Right.
Yeah.
So prior to my arrival, did you guys come to any other decisions? Did you change the guidelines? So,
just we,
You just need highlights on
yeah,
it.
we decided we needed to
that's really
put
what
services
we're
and all that stuff, and we decided 5,000. Were you here when we did
oh,
5,000?
no, okay.
5,000 cap per grant.
Okay.
Per event.
That makes sense.
Not grant, per
And then
event.
we're talking about the sample letter to current grantees.
Yeah, but that, we just were talking about that on
Yeah.
10.
Yes.
What page is
But
that?
are we done
11.
talking about that?
Well, if we're
There's nothing-
changing.
Well, we've changed the fiscal year. It sounds like that is a definitive decision.
But shouldn't we strike, if for some reason the organization needs funds prior to the event, request for partial funding may be submitted?
You want to delete that? I mean, you do that
I
now.
think that becomes confusing for people looking for a award. Boy, I'm gonna have,
Yeah,
this is gonna take some work.
Yeah, and that's just for this year,
So
because some people
what-
might
what-
have had it.
What party, is it the sample letter that you're talking about? Yep, I'm on 10.
Page 10,
Yep. What,
fifth
two.
paragraph.
if you have not used grant funds?
Yeah. Yeah,
Prior
so
to
some
July.
grantees may have held events before, before April.
No, that's not the one. That's okay.
So,
No,
I'm just,
yeah.
just
If you have used
line-
funds for your current, please contact us. If you have not used the grants, the grant will run.
No, that's not what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
is, after that?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Here.
5.
1, 2,
Page 10.
3,
Sixth
4.
paragraph.
Oh, if for some
Six.
reason, if for
some reason, okay, the
organization
organization
needs funds
prior to the event.
request for partial funding may be submitted. That's
Yeah.
very confusing.
You think it's
Okay.
For
confusing?
somebody applying for an award.
Yeah.
'Cause
My
I-
first thought would be, oh, I'm gonna apply for
I
it
thought,
ahead
No,
of time.
no.
I thought it meant, right, I thought it meant
This
that
is
they were
only-
gonna get it without the receipt.
No, it's a
in
sample.
advance, and
No, but it's
just
only for,
misleading.
this is only a one-time letter
Correct,
for the ones who already have the grant.
correct.
So
Yeah, but
that
that's-
only, maybe it's worded wrong, but that applies, if you did something in March and you need payment for that now, you don't have to wait to put the money in. It's in the last fiscal year.
I agree, that's confusing.
Yeah, we can take it
We should
out.
just strike that.
Yeah.
If anybody has a real issue, they can
They'll
call
call
us and
you,
say,
yeah.
geez,
Right.
I need reimbursement for this receipt right
Okay.
away, we're running out of money,
So,
And they'll-
okay.
I don't think they'll hesitate to call.
Yeah.
No, I don't
It's just
think
a
so
little
either.
confusing.
Yeah,
think
I
we
don't
should
think so
strike
either.
that.
Do you
Sure.
think it is possible, and I don't know if you guys already talked about this, to have a form that you can fill out online on the website? Like
That's-
technically?
This one right
We
here.
already talked about it.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
that can happen,
We
okay.
did talk a little bit about that.
I think that's a great idea. Rather than
Yeah.
printing it out and filling it in,
Yeah.
it could be
Because-
filled out online,
Right, but I asked if we could go through
IT.
IT.
And they said that can happen?
Yes, I
That's
was told,
awesome.
I was told it wouldn't be a problem, but we'll have to formally
Yeah.
go
But
through
we're
that.
gonna say that they can also print it out and submit it to the
Right,
select
but
board
it's
office.
preferred,
So
it's
they don't-
preferred to
they
do it
don't have
online.
access to,
Yeah.
electronic submission.
And then,
Mhm,
and then you get it online, the same way that you get.
And where
people-
would it go? When this
Well, that's-
goes,
yeah, that's
when
the
you
thing.
click to submit, what happens
Well,
then?
we'll have to talk to IT. I'm
Okay.
assuming it would go to the clerk or the president, or chair, I don't know why I keep saying president, right? It would have, they would go to one person, you would
So it would
disperse
send an
them.
it would send an email.
This goes online with all, like all the
You
town's
fill it out,
applications,
that
right?
generates an email.
That would go to.
Right, that's what you do to
Right.
apply to join a
Right.
committee. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
he does something magical in there, and it goes, it would go right to that.
Okay.
You would go to the secretary
Yeah,
and the chairperson.
yeah. And you'll notice that I put that, if you have any questions, I put at this Gmail, at the email. This is a professional group that gives town funds. I think we should have, you shouldn't have to use your own email. You shouldn't have to use private emails to get
I
all
don't
these
think
things.
anybody but the select board has a
No, other ones
wareham.gov.
do.
Really? Planning
But-
board doesn't.
But the thing is that it would only go to one person. Nobody else could use it. But it would go to one person because this is a grant that's awarded with taxpayer dollars. It's, you know,
I'm not
it's
fooling
something.
around with my computer.
Oh, you don't have to. You can have him send it to your email. You can have him send it to your email. But you don't have to, we wouldn't respond to people with your Gmail
Personal
account.
email account.
So you're saying it'd be like an alias. So on here it would say clerk
Office of
at,
CEC.
CEC,
Office.
Community Events Committee
Yeah.
at wareham.gov.
Right.
And that would generate an email that goes to Linda at her Gmail
Right.
account. So she doesn't have to
Use
fork
her private-
around with getting
It's a mess.
access
Well,
to
no, what is
a
not
special
working.
Outlook account.
What they do in the town of Wareham is, unless you're on the select board or an elected board like the sewer commissioners, et cetera, if the finance committee has a thing that says financecommittee.com, it goes to all the members of the finance committee, or it can be funneled to the chair, and you can respond through that account, not your own.
Okay, isn't that just what we were saying?
Yeah,
No.
and so, yeah.
So
and-
what did I get wrong?
Exactly. No, that was what you were saying.
I'm not
And
gonna
so,
get into it.
when
Oh, okay.
when you tell people that they've gotten an award, it doesn't come from your Bridgewater account, you know what I mean? Like, it comes from, you know,
It has to come from the committee, basically.
it comes from CEC at wareham.gov.
Yep. That's all.
So that it's,
Which rolls over to any new committee person
Yeah.
that's in the chair or the
Right.
secretary.
Yes.
Right.
Or
That's a
Right.
good
whatever.
point, yeah.
Right.
Instead of,
Yeah.
you're
Whichever,
not secretary anymore, I hope that doesn't happen. And- But just, you
No,
know,
it's-
for argument's sake.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you go away and everybody's sending stuff to Linda.
yeah.
We won't have that situation. It'll automatically go to that email. And
Yeah.
whoever has stepped into that role or on a regular or interim basis would start getting those emails right away.
Yep.
How does that get set up, though?
IT.
IT,
Now.
and,
That's it.
yeah.
Now.
So like the press release, application guidelines are available at wareham.gov, but if you have any questions, you could email us questions. So, because I know you guys have been using your personal email,
Shouldn't
but
be.
this is, no, I agree, it's,
Yeah, it shouldn't really.
I know, it's not, so because this is a different committee, this is a committee that awards funds, and people have to ask the committee questions, they shouldn't have to go into your personal account. And honestly, some people's accounts get hacked, and that means that if you get an email from that person, because that's happened to me, you get an email and somebody's, I didn't send that, it was hacked, and so don't open the application. That would be in your own email account. So you don't want that, you don't, you know, you
Actually,
really don't want to use your own
liability.
email for
We
a,
delved into it with the lawyer, counsel.
town council.
He may tell you, she should not be using your
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
email.
We're not
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah.
on personal accounts.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, that protects you guys. That's,
Town council. I don't
yeah.
know why
No,
has
but
to be-
that would protect you guys. So if we have to formally ask, but I was told that its application should be online. So we'd have to meet with IT
Yeah, ma'am.
and do these requests, get this loaded up. But it doesn't have to be right away, because they're not doing it until next fiscal year, because you've already given grants this year. And grants have been done the same way. Awards have been done the same way, right?
So you're saying we're not doing it until next June?
Well,
it's not
because
changing.
the
Yeah.
grants, I mean, the awards, people have already, for the most part,
Right.
they've all put them in, right? I mean, all the same ones that we do all the time?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
according to our
Yeah.
old guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these other people have to be notified.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
know.
We can still
I know.
take more.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why that sentence that Derek had suggested, there's something about, you know, if there's other, after the deadline, it's in here someplace, Derek's suggestion that people should be able to apply after the deadline if there's funds still in the account.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what he said anyway.
But,
So,
okay,
yeah.
what about this, though? Any apps that we get until we start this new process are only gonna be approved for advertising and publicity. Because it's
Until-
not fair to everybody else who has only applied for advertising and publicity to let somebody apply next month and, according to our new guidelines, get like up to $5,000 for any of those things.
But
It's not.
that
it's not
violates
right.
the bylaw, though.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
No,
No, it does
It's
not
too
violate-
restrictive.
No, okay, let's,
right? And we're
We
gonna
discussed
finish,
that.
we're gonna
We-
finish
Yeah.
out the year.
What we were
Yeah.
doing never violated any bylaw, and Derek says that. He says it's kind of, we had like this implicit
It's too narrow.
authority to change it, it was too narrow,
He said
there
it
was
was
no
too narrow.
violation or anything. So what we're gonna do is keep our guidelines the same.
So you're
till
saying
we-
everything changes as of January 30 of next year?
Well, people will be notified sometime.
All,
sometime in
yes,
January.
No,
but
it
the
has-
official
For our
changeover
next-
date is June
For our
30,
next ad in the paper,
July.
press release.
June
Right,
30,
right.
2025 for the fiscal year.
That's for this fiscal year. It's
right, right,
2026 for the
6.
27.
Yeah.
Next year would be the 27
Right, because
fiscal year.
then everybody will hear about it in the same press release that we've changed our guidelines and this is what you can now apply for, and it's a lot more fair that way. But I did have something to say about Marie's application in particular, and I don't
Is there your
know
cause application?
if this will,
It's not on
Not
the,
the
it's not on the
agenda.
agenda.
It's not
the
on
core
the agenda.
On the agenda,
application.
we can't
So I
discuss
can't
it.
even mention it?
No, we have to talk about it at July
Okay, all
meeting.
right,
Sorry.
Okay, all right, sorry, Mary.
This is July.
Okay, all right.
But the July
So, I'll
28th
zip it.
meeting,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Okay,
The-
but,
yeah.
so, okay, so under this thing, I don't think we should, I think what we should talk about now is the request for reimbursement form. Because that kind of goes along with where we are right now.
I think you need to go back one step. You talked about when this is going to go into effect. I think that we need to basically, in our next meeting, set a date of when it does, because again, with the fiscal year issue and stuff,
What?
with the fiscal year and
Same,
the
same, the
difficulties
same.
there, you need to say when this is gonna go into effect. If you have people applying, you know, say in January, February of next year, it's still in 2026. You could have people applying later in 2027.
So
People
wait,
just,
are you saying we should
everybody forgets
put
that the
out
fiscal
a
year.
press release
you know,
earlier?
I don't think
than-
the people need to know about the fiscal year. We're just
No,
gonna
but I
set
think-
them up, you know.
I
this
think
is
they
the
need to
start of
know
the new year.
when we're gonna actually start the procedure. You can't start in the middle of your fiscal year and change it.
So,
We're at the
Really?
beginning.
No,
We're at the beginning, so all I'm saying is, when we get this done and voted, you have to vote on this.
Yeah, you can't vote today,
we
though.
have to
You
vote
just
on
run
this.
with it.
No,
No?
no.
What?
You're making these changes. This committee, the members that can vote have to vote for these changes.
Right.
right,
But that has to be on the next meeting, on the
It
July
has to be on the
28th meeting, because
agenda,
it doesn't say that on the
Which
agenda.
means basically, everybody has to sit down that votes and do some homework and come in here with final suggestions that you submit. I would suggest you submit ahead of
Right,
time
like the
with no,
vote, yeah.
with no discussion.
You
And
have
At the
to.
meeting, you discuss it and then vote on it.
Yeah, the agenda just says discussion,
And, that's why I purposely left that.
you wanted
out.
to make time to think, I think that's.
so not
I
to, not
agree.
to vote.
You have
Yeah.
no choice.
Always it's
Yeah.
possible vote, you don't have to say and vote, and possible vote.
But, yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, just to cover, I
We're all gonna
understand
think
what you
about it.
said, and that's a good idea, but that covers you, so you don't have to.
So-
So Alan, you don't like the letter to the current grantees, you don't think that covers it, announcing to them that
Yeah.
you all have a grant, but we're changing to the fiscal year?
Turning to a new season.
Changing the new procedures, period.
And procedures, I think it says that,
But
doesn't
yeah,
it?
because otherwise, we're gonna have to wait a full year to start awarding grants if we
No.
wait, no?
And then they'll
If
start
we start it
applying in January
As
instead.
of January 1st, July 1st this year, and we have new
Okay.
guidelines moving forward this year.
Guidelines have got to be all set by January 1st, so we can start notifying people. They'll come in at a deadline. See, it's not gonna matter to them fiscal.
We've
It only
approved,
matters here.
yeah,
So they're gonna come in, they're gonna apply like they do regular.
always.
So you're not gonna get any new requests between now and January 1st? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
I've got one for next, I've got one for the
Well-
next meeting.
And what
Right,
I'm saying is if we do, we have to go by our current guidelines, the advertising and publicity only, because it's only fair.
We have events that basically come here after July 1st. So if we adopt these new rules, technically they could be effective as of July 1st, which is passed. That's
Right.
why you need to set a date for next season's applications, because
That
if
was my
not,
point. That was my point. that I
Yeah.
just made. Okay.
because the problem is how do you sit there and all of a sudden say OBA has concerts into end of August? She can technically, with the new rules, she can apply for getting reimbursement for entertainment.
Well, I guess don't see anything wrong with that.
Up to 5,000.
Yeah.
There is
Right.
nothing up
I
there,
don't
but
see
all I'm
anything
saying
wrong with
is
the
you have to
adopting
make it-
everything now.
So if we're starting it now, then we have to send this letter out.
Yeah.
To let people
That's-
know. And
that's
so
what-
if people who've only applied for publicity and advertising have other things, then we could potentially get those apps in. But this
Right.
is telling them that they can do it now if they want.
Right.
But if it's over it's already got 5,000,
Right, well, they'd have
Then-
to adhere to the new guidelines.
yeah, if they've already
Mhm.
gotten a grant for
But it would be
5,000,
other
which is a
stuff
cap.
Besides,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah, I
probably
guess
most
that
people
makes
have gotten
sense
that,
to start
right?
it with the fiscal year,
Yeah.
because,
You can
Yeah.
just, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
vote when you officially wanna start it.
Yeah,
right,
Because you can start it anytime you want, as long as you basically vote on it, it becomes public knowledge, et cetera.
right, we have to notify
So you
people.
mean you can't take applications in April?
Of course you can.
Oh, okay.
we can
You can
take
do
them in
whatever you
April,
want.
but they don't start until July 1st.
So maybe I'm being redundant,
No.
but we could get this rolling with the new fiscal year, make it retroactive, and nobody that's only applied for funds for advertising would be left out, because
Right.
we're retroactive to July 1st. And yeah, those were the guidelines then, these are the guidelines now.
And so
There's
they
no
can
apologies
come
needed.
forward
There's no
and say,
apologies
okay, I
needed.
want,
Nothing to.
I only applied for advertising in March, but I'd also like to apply for reimbursement for an additional activity that took place in the March event. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No,
Nope.
No.
Oh, that's
Okay.
what I thought.
No.
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
No.
wait,
I'm
okay, we
saying from July
misunderstood.
1st
You,
on.
you
Yeah.
can't. go-
Any event
You can't go
from July
backwards.
1st.
Retroactive
On.
to July 1st of
Oh, I see,
2025.
okay.
Okay.
So you
Fall.
can't
Okay.
take care of
Okay,
events
okay.
in May?
No.
So,
This is
But
just
why,
passed.
we can if we want
so,
to.
but they could put in a
Maybe
new
next year.
application
Next
if they haven't
Not
reached
now,
5,000,
not next year.
Yes,
right? So,
Right, for the
because
rest of
it's
the
the new
year.
year,
For the rest
so
of-
let's
yeah.
say Claire wanted to hire a band, which I don't think she does. Let's say Claire for twinning wanted to hire a band. If she applies in August or September, she would be under the new rules.
Right,
Yep.
right,
Mhm.
exactly.
All she's applied
right.
for now is advertising and so
Yes.
forth. So
Yeah.
that would cover it. And then the thing is that many have gotten over 5,000, so they've already gotten the cap.
they're done.
Yeah, even
But
if they
will
ask
be
for more.
all right.
It doesn't
Right.
Yeah,
count.
just for
Yeah, really, no
advertising,
way.
they've gone over,
Mm.
yeah.
It does, that
So-
counts.
No
It's fair.
apologies.
It's fair,
There's
isn't
no
it?
apologies
Yeah, it's
needed,
fair.
And there's
You're gonna
no
go forward, it's all
retroactive,
new.
It's fair.
any kind of
Doesn't matter how much we
reimbursement
want.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
It's
needed.
gonna be a pain.
It won't be once,
I don't
once you
think so.
roll
Yeah.
it into the dates and fits into the date. Anything that was awarded, basically, not paid, but anything that was awarded, whatever, before July 1st
Yeah.
falls under the old rules.
Correct.
Okay.
I keep seeing that bottom line, it's never gonna go down.
We,
Oh,
Well,
if you cap
I
it?
think it's
I'll
going to.
Yeah.
guarantee you
I
that the
think it's going to.
town administration will come up with something they
I
wanna
think it
buy.
will go down.
Oh, for
Okay.
public,
Yeah. Because the way it's
what's
worded,
that word, public,
public,
what's the?
benefit to the
what it-
public interest.
Yeah, public enhancements, is that what it's
Enhancement.
called? Public,
Yeah.
if that's in the bylaw.
Hey, we probably could pay for the road, they would just repay advance it.
Ugh, please.
How the lights gonna fix it.
Yeah, the lights got fixed.
All right, so can we move on to that reimbursement form now?
Sure.
Because that's different.
What page?
Okay. That's page 9, request for reimbursement. Again, this would be just easier for the person who's doing the reimbursement stuff.
Yep.
You get the name of the organization,
Yeah, it's pretty much what we've been asking for
amount,
before, but it's
yeah,
just
it's
the
just
form that.
in a
yeah.
form, in a form.
Mhm.
And
That
because,
must be requested by June 1st, 2026.
right. And then, it does say that has to go to the select, that's how, it goes to the select board, right, Linda? And then you pick it up there. Where do you pick
Oh,
up?
it goes in the.
In the mail.
The mail.
Yeah, it
Mail
goes
room.
in the mailroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think, doesn't it have to, whoever puts it in the mail? Who do you give?
Or they'll email them to me too.
It goes
Yeah.
into the select board office.
The select board office,
One of
yeah.
the two women there.
Put it in the
distribute
mailbox.
mail.
Yeah, so that's why I put it has to go to the select board's office. So because you have to have the receipts, you can't do that online, that would only be a scan, that wouldn't be the original receipt. So
No, you can, they accept them online. I've got receipts if I get,
only if it's an online
no,
company.
if I
I
get,
thought
if
you
I
said original.
email
Yeah,
receipts,
yeah.
she's fine with them.
Well, how come she said we had to do original receipts?
I never quite understood.
Yeah,
why.
because I remember Priscilla going crazy trying to get the copy of the newspaper and then making sure she had the original bill.
Well,
So you don't have to do originals anymore?
Where does it say originals? Oh, include original
As long
bills,
as they're,
okay.
and there's checks that
Yeah.
back them up.
Because when I order something online, that's all I have. You don't get a receipt, you know, it's not like,
What you do is you have to provide your statement, your bank statement saying
Yeah.
that was paid.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
that's what I did.
And if you pay for it by check, they want to see a copy of the
Right,
check.
to prove it, yeah, so I did that. So do we want to keep it that they have, do you want to make it so they can do everything online instead of handing them in? If she
Oh, no,
doesn't,
because some do it.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it.
yeah,
You take the library, I mean, it's like this.
Yeah, I know.
It's like that.
yeah.
Um,
So still leave it this way, bring it to the select board's office?
It's almost like their choice.
Yeah. So what should we put, you can either bring it to the select board's office or
Email it?
do them all online?
Yeah.
Hi.
All right, let's, a couple things.
Hello?
You have questions that, for the town accountant as far as,
Is that Judy?
Hi, I'm
I've
Judy.
never met you.
Are you Judy?
Lori,
I'm Judy.
Hi, Judy, this
Well,
is
Judy
Kevin.
and I talk about.
Hi, I'm Lori.
I think we've met before.
I've never met Judy.
one of the questions they've been discussing is fiscal year or calendar year. We know that, we also discussed how the money comes in and what the special act says, but you've already explained before that whenever the treasurer's office decides to transfer the money, that's when it happens. It doesn't happen on a timely basis, or make it into the actual fiscal year sometimes,
No, we'll always make it into the actual fiscal year.
when you close the books, you mean.
I'm not being recorded.
No, you're not
We
being
have the,
recorded.
you do the fiscal year,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, we do the fiscal, that's what you gave us, this report, it's the fiscal year.
Okay, so I would say 99.9% of the years, it is in before October, November, December.
Remember, that's
Okay, so-
October, November, not June 30th. I'm not getting you in trouble, I promise.
Let her answer.
I just want everybody to
This year we
understand.
are a little behind, so I haven't calculated it out. What we do is usually let, I think it's 25% of the parking. We take the parking from July until the end of the parking program, okay, and continue to give the 25% to the community events. And then in October, November, when the hotel motel comes in, I take the remaining, I calculate what's left, and take it from the hotel motel and clear you up for 45,000. Okay, this year I just haven't had a chance to do it, I apologize. I told Linda I hadn't had a chance to do it, because you had plenty of money, so I knew you weren't gonna run out unless someone went on a spending spree.
I haven't gone yet.
And everything, so by the end of the fiscal year, by June 30th, I have to make you whole, which I did tell you, I knew it was gonna be, usually is about $10,500.25 that I have to make up. But usually it is by the end of November, you're whole, end of October.
I saw that in the, I got copies of all of the ledgers for every fiscal year since, and I could see, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
it just makes it easier if I do it that way, because before, I know how the vote was taken 25 and 25, and I understand that, but then the first couple of years that it was done that way, it was, people forgot to stop. So you were ending up with too much money, because they get used to doing that 25, 25, so it was easier for me to say, okay, parking, you do the 25% up until your parking program stops, and then hotel motel, I will take it out of the October payment, and that way you're whole, don't do it again until the next fiscal year. It was much easier for them, because they would continue, and you would get way too much money, and with so many journal entries for me to do. So it was easier that way. Does that make,
So it wouldn't matter if we changed from fiscal year,
Calendar.
calendar year to fiscal year. We'd like to change to fiscal year for the awards.
oh, the awards?
Yeah.
Yeah, for keeping our books.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter to you, that doesn't matter to you.
No,
does
it
it?
probably would make sense. I
Okay.
don't see a big
Okay.
deal, because everything's fiscal year around here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Great.
I do know, like, Cultural council is arts lottery when I started in municipal. Cultural council is calendar, but that's just how they've always been, and they were always that way. But yeah, you could go fiscal, it doesn't affect the books either way. Because also, even payments out, it can go over, cross over fiscal years. It would only matter when you got your award letters in and when you wanted to take that.
Sounds
What
like
you'd have to watch though, and the only thing I will bring that up to you, is so you'd have to watch is if you ever got to a point you were getting low, and you were spending all your money in the whole 45,000, you can't spend anything out until you receive it, even though I know you're gonna get it. Legally, I cannot spend it out until you have it in the account.
Okay, yep, good to know.
That makes sense.
It's logical. If it's not there, you can't pay it out.
All right, thank you.
Can you tell that to my daughter?
If it's not there, you
No,
can't pay it
I've been
out.
trying for years to tell that to my 23-year-old son. All right, thanks, Judy.
Thank you.
That answers that question.
Okay, I hope that helps everybody.
Okay, yeah.
So,
All right, so I think this reimbursement form, this will be available online too.
Okay, so did we change it to include, you can either bring this form and all documents to the select board's office or email
Or
with
submit.
scans to the community events committee email?
Yeah, whatever Matt
address?
decides to call
Or,
it.
Yeah.
or scan an email.
Yeah.
or,
Excuse me.
And do we wanna put, instead of include original bills,
yeah, it doesn't have to,
updated invoices?
well, if you're bringing them, they can bring the original bills,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And if
fine.
they submit an email, they have to scan all that.
Should have asked Judy.
That has to be included.
Originals?
Yeah, no, you should ask Judy, I'm sorry.
But she doesn't always get originals
I'm
because
just
she,
saying we should ask Judy anyways, but she requires.
I've given,
yeah.
Actually, this isn't a bad thing to leave in there. If, like Linda says, oh, sometimes I just get them emailed with a copy of the check and that's been fine. But this wording would
I
entice
mean, I
people.
don't get original checks, I get copies.
Copies
Copies
of
of
checks,
checks, I
yeah,
understand,
yeah.
But this wording would entice people to just do it this way,
Yeah.
It's because it's the best way,
because it's the best way,
yeah. But they
To
could,
hand it in personally at the
Hand
select
it
board's
in.
office?
personally.
but aren't we gonna, no, we're not gonna add or email it with bills or paid
Let's just leave
invoices?
that out, and they can, if they have an issue, like, they'll let us know, like, can I just scan an
Okay,
email?
is that what
They really
everybody
can't
wants?
come by the town hall.
All the same people have been doing it that way for
Yeah, I
years.
know, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Most people know that's how they have to do it. If
All
we
right.
can get new people, then we can,
Yeah.
we can tell them
Yeah.
that.
And
yeah.
also on this form should say, we pay no sales tax.
That is a good idea,
Yeah.
and
What's
also
that?
on
What's
the
that?
application.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that we
No
don't
sales
pay.
tax.
No sales
So,
tax.
where does that,
Pay
where does
sales
that,
tax.
where does that rule come in?
Well, actually, you know what, if we
Judy?
don't,
Judy says she doesn't pay sales tax. Because, you know, there are a lot of things that we order online that you cannot put your, you
Right.
cannot get your sales
Yeah.
tax taken
A lot of
off.
them, local
Yeah.
stores, I don't know why a lot of organizations don't just give them.
You just give them a receipt, yeah.
Give them
I mean, the
the,
form, the
the
determination,
paperwork.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but that's why, you know, I handed some in, I think had some tax on it. Because if you order online, you have no choice. There's no place that you
Uh-huh.
can send
Tax
that in,
exempt.
send your determination letter in to get no taxes.
I've seen with some organizations that they do something, they talk with the vendor, and they can wipe it out, because there is a lot that people
Yeah.
don't pay.
I
Sales
order from that
taxes are-
Chinese company. No, you have to pay the tax.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's Oriental Trading.
Oh.
They have cheap stuff that you
right,
can order
yeah.
from there, and, no, they don't. But like, I talked to the person that we do the porta potties, you know, and sent that, the form, and they okayed it, you know, we didn't have to pay on it. But that's why sometimes tax comes, because somebody said one time, I don't know why you pay tax if you're nonprofit, but you can't get away with it on some bills, so
Yeah.
that's why. So are you asking them to subtract the tax, or do you subtract the
We
tax?
They do,
subtract the
just so that
tax.
they know that they won't get reimbursed for it.
So, okay, so,
That should go in the
When
No,
we review
event application.
And we notice that the taxes stayed in, we take it out.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah, she does that. So we put it on both the guidelines?
the
Yeah.
guidelines
There's no
and the-
reimbursement.
Right,
Okay.
note.
Okay, so in the guidelines, we'll add, note taxes are not reimbursed.
Right.
Sales tax, yeah.
I'm sorry, sales tax not reimbursed, and also put that on the reimbursement paper,
Well, the grants application, number
Yeah.
6, should go
Okay.
on there.
numbers.
And then just note,
On
The grant application?
They should
the
also.
grant application,
they should
number
also include
page
their
6.
Federal ID.
Federal ID number has to.
Yeah,
Their
yep,
application.
yep.
If they're in
The application.
501c3,
Yeah.
Any business that's not a
Yeah.
nonprofit.
Pardon?
Any business that's not a nonprofit.
Oh, yeah,
has
on
to
the
supply it.
application, right, not,
Um,
So please include your EIN number.
Yep.
Um,
Town won't pay without it.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Have to check the status to see if it's legitimate.
yeah.
The one-
CEC
the
won't
organizations that
reimburse.
have been- that they've been, working with, the town already has them, and they know that they don't.
That's, I believe it's already on the guidelines. Didn't I put that in the guidelines? That if you're,
I saw it
it
somewhere.
says, are you a nonprofit? Yes, or, you can say yes or no. And then it says, attach on the guidelines, the ones that have the one that says guidelines.
I don't see it. On page 11, is that the one you mean? The guidelines?
Yeah, doesn't it say attached? No, that's not, it's not on there then. I thought I had, are you, there's someplace that
It's on
said,
our guidelines.
yeah. I thought I had someplace that asked if they were nonprofit. Oh, yeah, is the organization nonprofit, yes or no? See up
Oh,
at the
the grant
top?
application.
Yeah, so then,
if yes,
if yes,
please include your,
please
Yeah,
include
yeah.
determination letter.
No, oh,
no, your tax exempt.
yeah.
But,
But nonprofit,
But do we need that?
no. What I usually have to send people is a determination letter.
yeah,
That you're determined as, is that correct, Alan? You're determined as a nonprofit?
yeah, you have to supply your nonprofit number,
Yeah,
And
the
that, and the EIN is on that.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's called a determination letter from the
Yep,
IRS, so
yep, I'm
it
familiar
says that you're, because you can get an EIN number without being a nonprofit.
Absolutely.
No, you can, I have an estate account that's got an EIN number.
Well, the accountant wants a copy of that certificate.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, so if yes, please provide nonprofit determination,
yeah, photocopy.
copy of nonprofit determination letter. It's an IRS letter.
Or put certificate so they know that they have to have an actual piece of paper and not just the number.
Yeah, the letter, you please provide the nonprofit determination
And
letter.
sometimes you get a certificate.
And the letter has the EIN in the top, and then it says that you're a nonprofit.
Now we
So-
wanna go back.
Wait, but on the application, do we want to say we won't pay sales tax?
Right.
No,
So under the
Talking
budget
about
section,
this
where they list the budget,
that's what we're on.
so.
No, we're still on the community events grant application because we should include that
The
we don't
tax.
pay sales tax. Yeah.
Page 6.
So under the budget, see, we're gonna have IT set up something where they can put advertising, how much, so they'll put their own categories, right? So under budget, I'll put note,
Email address, ASAP.
That was part of this
I
whole thing.
think.
yeah, I'll put note, tax,
Under budget.
taxes, yeah, under budget, so I put
On page
tax.
6.
Sales tax will not be reimbursed.
Sale tax will
Yeah.
not be reimbursed,
Yeah.
thank you.
And Lori, when you have a chance,
Yeah, we have that
either
in
see
ours
that
now.
or send
Yeah.
out a note what you want to do,
Okay,
so we get it done.
okay.
Okay,
Now, if we allow for-profit companies, so they will be paying sales tax. So, but they'll know that we don't reimburse.
that we don't reimburse it, no matter if they're.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a question I had when I was first, and maybe it sounds like you guys have already discussed it, so sorry about that. But the wording says something, 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 but nonprofits will be given preference. So just anybody can apply for this?
Well, because we talked about that it's.
Sorry.
it's-
Wareham events,
Yeah.
Wareham companies and events,
Yeah.
everything has to happen in Wareham.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like, we're not gonna fund anything that's happening in Bourne.
So say Jack Conway decides to,
do a big thing,
We're
yeah,
working on it already.
yeah. They can apply because the way the
as
the
long
bylaw
as
is
it's a
written,
community
right?
event, not a private,
Right.
Right.
just Jack Conway event.
Yeah.
As long as it's gonna
Right.
enhance visitation or the community as a
Yeah.
whole.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If they're holding an open house at their office or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah, that's.
you know, they can we'll pay for balloons or whatever. But if it's an open house in their office, it's a public event, we would pay for something like that.
Okay.
But we also ask, how many people will be at this event and how is this event going to help Wareham and tourists?
Yeah.
So when you decide to vote, you say, well, this isn't This
Yeah.
doesn't seem to
Okay.
fit,
An open house would not be
probably not.
considered.
But like Danny Warren did
No, I mean,
the last
at the
Oyster
office, at
Festival.
their
That
office,
was,
like,
pro-
we
that
just
was,
have
you
people
know,
go in
his
That was
business.
that
But he didn't
qualified.
apply for any funds.
No, but I'm saying you could in the
Well,
future.
not
Uh-huh,
really, not right now.
uh-huh,
Jack
Not that they
Connor's
would, but you
not
could, because it has to
Don't
be
worry.
open to everybody. But priority to nonprofits. Don't Trash Wareham's not a nonprofit, but we've always been funded,
Okay.
because we didn't go through that.
Let me know
No,
when you're
we are a
back on.
town-sponsored grant. You know, we're a town you know how it says,
Award.
it says either nonprofits or town
Sponsored.
sponsor,
events.
town recognized grant,
Events.
organization.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
so, yeah, we just didn't feel like, there was 5 of us, and we didn't feel like going through all the trouble of, because we weren't doing fundraisers. We don't do fundraisers, so why do we need, why did we need to go through
We
all the
just try to
nonprofit?
kill all 5 of our bodies.
Yeah, years,
Let me know
all
when
those
you're
years.
back on
Pending.
reimbursement.
Okay, we're back on the reimbursement form, and so we put no sales tax will be reimbursed
On the application.
on the application and on the reimbursement, okay, right? No sales tax on,
Right.
Yeah, maybe
No
at
sales
the
tax
top
will be
somewhere.
reimbursed.
okay, yeah,
But also at the top of this form, it says, however, if the organization needs funds prior to the event, a request for partial funding may be submitted.
So we
what
should
page are you on?
strike that.
What page are you on?
Page 9,
We're on 9.
yep,
Okay,
first paragraph.
okay.
So we struck that sentence
Yeah, we struck it from
earlier.
the other, yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to be struck.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Nora, you've
It's
got a
just-
number of
it's just
places,
vague
you mentioned
and-
grantees and grants.
I gotta change it all to
Out there.
awardees and awards.
Financial assistance,
It is an award, it is an award.
Why don't we just
Award,
simply
financial assistance,
have
funding.
Lori request town council to come up with it, what the verbiage should be, so we stay out of trouble.
Yeah,
verbiage of
Because-
what?
Email.
instead of calling it a grant,
Yeah. both-
Oh.
because Alan
the
said we
town
can't call
account-
it grants.
Both the town account and the town council.
He said he
said
talked to
we're
town
not
council and
grantees
it's not a grant, it certainly fills all
Because of the way
the
the funding
requirements of a
works.
grant.
because of the
How should we,
rollover.
how should we refer to the money that the CEC awards?
Distributes, yeah.
Can we do it can we call it award? Call it award?
She
That's
called
what
it an
we've
award.
kind of been calling them.
Accountant.
Yeah.
Award.
Judy
Yeah.
called it an award.
It's-
That's
you
why
do
Judy-
have the word
that's why
grant
Judy
once
said
in
not
your,
grants, because it's an award.
yeah. I think the grant once is in your old guidelines.
have-
Yeah,
you mentioned
yeah,
grant,
so
yeah.
that's why I used it, but yeah, we'll change it to awards and the people would not be grantees, but would be award applicants, we'll just call them award.
Awardees or award.
So a quick thought, because we are coming, it's after 3:15 now.
Okay.
It seems to me, hopefully someone has been taking tremendously good notes on all the changes, and that should be have
the
a whole
minutes.
new packet, not the minutes,
Yeah,
but the changes to these documents is what I mean. And
Yeah,
the minutes are a
yeah.
different conversation, but
Yeah.
because I've been taking notes, you've been taking
Yeah,
notes,
yeah.
but we should have one clean packet
For us to vote on.
prior
next time.
to our next meeting.
Okay. So you want me
to
to
look at.
revise these, is what you're saying? They're all on my computer.
Okay.
It's very easy.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
And then can she send them
And then send it
in
to
an
the,
email just for us to review? so
Yes, but no-
no
discussion?
discussion. Just everybody looks at it
Yeah.
and, remembers, and if there are changes, we make them at the meeting.
Right.
And then
And
that's
then
what we vote on.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that sounds good.
yeah, okay.
Who will be going to IT to request the email?
I'm gonna email
Jeffrey.
Matt,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
to request
But
the
I
email
don't-
address.
And I don't think
Right.
he's been told yet, because the person who said we can ask the IT, so you'd have to
You'll probably
intro
have
it.
to-
And then there's
You know what I mean? You have to explain it.
Right, but there's a whole, I'm not gonna go there with the part about.
the forms. I was gonna say
submitting
there's step
Yeah.
2.
Yeah,
Right, but
Yeah.
just for now, just consider, like, ask him to set up an email address.
yeah,
He
That's
will-
it.
He will
I
have to
think he
get town
likes iced
administrator's
coffee,
approval.
2 sugars.
yeah. He did see my packet, and he was fine with the packet, so, why don't I talk to Judy, who can talk to Derek, because Judy is the one who told me that we could do that, so, because she
Okay.
talked to Derek about it, so,
About that tech part of it?
yeah,
Okay.
it's part of it.
Oh, you
so-
have to go through Derek first to get the
Well,
email
Derek
address?
has to okay it.
Yeah,
What did you say?
But-
Did you
Yeah.
say something?
So we just said Derek has to approve it.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay,
yeah, so I was told
Right.
that it wouldn't be a problem,
Mhm.
yeah.
so how does that work then? Are you gonna ask him about the email
I
too?
will,
And then
yeah.
let me know and I'll ask Matt about
Yes.
it, or?
I was
okay.
told it wouldn't be a problem, that's what I was told.
Okay.
But we should go
haven't
through
yet.
the steps.
You can
Yeah.
go, you can ask Matt, and Matt then goes to Derek to see if it's okay. That's the way it's always worked.
Yeah, and Matt does the applications for like planning and all of
He
those,
does
so he does, so he,
Anything
yeah.
on the website is his control.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can set that up with our wording, you know. So are
We
we,
already went over page 11, right? Guidelines. We already went over that.
Yeah, that was me
Yep.
at the
Okay,
beginning.
Okay.
that was in the beginning.
yep. So, and that's all we were gonna talk about
We're
today
good for
was,
now. Is that,
Okay.
because we're
Okay.
coming up on 3:30,
Yeah.
and I don't want to start any other topics at
So-
this point, and
so are we gonna meet on July 28th so
that's
that
our
we can
next
get
At
the?
meeting,
six?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, could we also, well, put the revote for Wareham Land Trust? Remember, we have to vote
Right, that's-
again? Is
Linda
that on
has
the
that.
agenda?
And also Claire's coins.
Claire's coins, and
Wareham
then-
Land Trust.
And then Marie's
Yeah.
application? Because now that's coming in after the new guide, would come in after, or you want to hold that until the guidelines come
Linda
in?
will put a new agenda together, and I might have something on it about Marie's application.
Okay, and then, if we have time, can we talk about some of the other things in the packet?
Yep,
Good, so,
And we already talked about reorganizing the board,
and
No, we're
reorganization
not
of
doing that.
annual officers.
ever?
not now.
Okay.
We're gonna start with
Yeah.
all these different, the guidelines, the application, and see if we have time, and I don't wanna open another topic right now, so.
Oh, no, I don't mean
That's-
now.
later.
No, I
at the
meant at our next meeting.
Yeah,
At
Oh,
July
that's all I
28th,
meant.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so on the July meeting. So reorganization, annual election of officers, and also just write possible vote, discussion and possible vote.
Right.
So that way,
We can,
yeah, we can
if we're not
vote.
ready to vote on it, we don't have
Then
to.
you
we
don't
don't
have
have
to.
to,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
It's like we're on adjournment.
Just one quick
Well-
thing, on the page 13 treasurer, we'll need to get input from the town accountant on what's written down there, because she's already looked at it, she has issues with it.
With what?
What, page 13?
With someone giving a report on how much money we have in
And
the account?
treasurer, and so you say Judy,
With the treasurer for this particular committee, what they can do and can't do.
All I have them doing is keeping track of the grants and bringing the paperwork to the,
It's actually
Isn't
all
that
through the
part
accountant.
of the role of officers, which
Okay, we'll talk
chairperson
about,
has
Yeah,
already
we're
said?
gonna talk about that
Yeah,
in the next
right,
meeting.
I
Just
agree.
don't put it in the
I
budget.
agree.
There's an issue with
Okay,
that. That's all.
okay, thank you.
Motion
Thank you for
to,
now.
someone has to make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Kevin, you have to make a motion.
To adjourn,
Make a motion to adjourn.
second,
second, okay, all in favor of adjourning?
aye.
Opposed, abstaining?
Long Island or
Okay,
Phoenix
meeting
in Rhode Island?
adjourned.